Jay.
Oh, there it is. Hey, yeah, I got it. Facebook, Instagram, what's going on? It's your boy, the Mad Scientist. Tuesday, back in the saddle. How you feeling, bro?
Feeling great. How are you?
Doing good.
Yeah.
Trying to get the Stream Deck working, man. Seems like after about 2 years, everything kind of just goes, we're gonna stop working, and you're gonna have to figure it out on the fly. So here we go.
Hey,
All right.
there we are.
There we go. There we are.
There we are.
And so I'll go ahead and just get right into it. We have a special guest on the podcast today. I haven't known him for long, but I feel like I've known you for years, man. I don't know if that's that Italian mentality.
I think
it's
it
like,
is,
hey,
man.
paisan, how you
I
been?
see that Italian horn around your neck, and it's just like, my brother.
Yeah, right. That's hilarious, man. So I guess without any further ado, Phillip Hurst, man, how you feeling, brother?
I'm doing all right. How's everybody doing today?
Doing very good,
Doing
bro.
all right.
So you.
Telling you what, this wine feels pretty good. Thank you very much.
Hey, it's the perfect juice for the show.
It's the perfect
you know what
juice
I mean?
for the show.
Yeah, we had bourbon the last couple weeks, and that always end up in trouble at the end of the night somehow.
Yeah,
And-
thank God it's not tequila. This would be a completely different show, boys.
Right. Yeah, we had
Tequila's a whole different ball game, bro.
we had tequila with was it with Lantana? Was that tequila night?
Yes.
Tequila nights are fun. It's the Sailor Jerry nights. It's,
Yeah,
it's like the
Sailor
spiced
Jerry.
rum nights that really just throw everything and like it just throws a wrench in the tire,
See now,
bro.
like rum, whiskey, and bourbon, I just get happy. I'm like a panda bear. You know, pandas just be silly and goofing off. That's me when I'm like bourbon. Now tequila, I get spicy. I get that liquid courage. It's not good, so I just stay away from it.
Yeah. That's how I am with bourbon, man. You know, just dark liquor. It just all of a sudden
Got
it's
you.
like puts you on edge a little bit.
I don't know what happens with tequila, but watches. Hey.
Dude, and so and it was actually
watches, hey.
that's a good transition because you were just talking about like your nickname being Panda. So is that why you went with Time Panda?
So it's now if you know me and if you follow me at all on some of my other pages, you know I'm really into motorsports, and one of the biggest things, or was the biggest thing in motorsports, was Rolex had been a sponsor for them for quite a while. Before them it was Tag, and now Tag is back. But while we were there, I was always obsessed with the Daytona, the Rolex Daytona, and that is known as the Panda. So I had built a watch which resembles the Daytona, but actually has a picture of a panda on it.
Mm-hmm.
And from building this watch, I was like, oh, this is cool, building watches, da 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 da. I'm gonna start a little business and call it Time Panda. But it's only because of my obsession with, I wouldn't say obsession, but my passion for the Rolex Daytona.
For sure.
So it just stuck with me, Panda, and pandas are kind of fun. And, you know, for me, like, I always envision, whenever you see a panda on, like, YouTube or on Instagram, they're always just kind of funny, cheery, you're rolling about, having a good time. And if you know me from outside of just the persona of being a watchmaker, I'm just a goofy, happy-go-lucky kind of guy. And I was like, hey, that kind of fits, and, yeah.
Cool.
Nice,
Time
dude.
Panda was born.
I love the branding. I mean, in general,
I guess it works.
it worked for it. And we, you were talking earlier, actually, and we've kind of been in the V Friends community with Gary V, and you're doing on entrepreneurship and whatnot. And when you were talking, I was like, this guy actually kind of represents like a patient panda, which is one of the core cards in the game.
See,
So
now
like,
I'm not a Gary. I know about V Friends,
Sure.
but I'm not a follower of that. But if that's the case, thank you very much,
Yeah.
Gary, for that. I appreciate it.
right. And when you were kind of explaining your story when we were off air, I was like, man, this guy's patient in what he's doing over time. I mean, you mentioned architecture, which was really a pivotal key moment
Catalyst,
when you were
one would say.
explaining kind of your history at the beginning. So kind of take us where architecture led to watches.
Man, okay, well, I guess it all comes. I'm creative. I'm a creator. I was created as a creator. I was born to be a creator. We were all born to be creators. Whole nother story. But, you know, I had a rough childhood, and I needed to go to college and find a career. And I was like, I'm good at math, and I like to draw. And before I went to college, I dropped out and went into construction for a while. So architecture and building, always my thing. And I was like, I need to go to college. Went to school for architecture. And in architecture, it was just a very, very positive, creative outlet for me, if that made sense. I was able to take an idea, express said idea and follow it through and defend it. Even if it wasn't a great idea, it told me about the importance of stand by your idea and defend it. You know,
Yeah.
be passionate about it. And like you were saying, sometimes this kind of becomes your child. And this honestly has become kind of my child. It keeps me up at night. When it's hungry, you need to feed it. You know, like you were mentioning, if there's a client waiting on something, it's in the back of your head. And it's not because, oh my God, I'm behind. It's, oh my God, I really care about this person. I want to do the best for this person.
Yeah.
So by way of architecture, it just made me be more attentive to my creative abilities and not just being complacent. And okay, I graduated architecture. I made it into my architectural career. I made it. You know, good for me. That wasn't good enough for me. I was being told to sit in a place, do this, do that, and my creativity stopped.
Oh yeah.
COVID hit. I was forced to find something else. I got into videography, which led me into more filming, which led me into meeting somebody in Formula One, which led Olga and I to be shooting Formula One photography, which led me then to the paddock. And being around all those people, all the watches, all the respect for time. And when you're with these people, you say, man, they wear all these watches and they've got so much success. What's the equivalent there? Well, most of these people respect time, and they're showing that. And when you think about it, they respect what time means, and time means sitting down, being patient, and they value time. They value what it's going to take to go ahead and, I hate to say it, but make that dollar, you know? And they value, okay, it's going to take this moment. I need to work this amount of time. This amount of effort needs to go into this amount of time. And because of this, if you're wasting my time, I'm going to show you just by my wrist. I value time.
Yeah, let's go,
I'm gonna stop you if you're wasting my time, and I'm gonna keep on moving. You want to be in my shoes? Value time like I value time.
That's incredible.
And a way to do that is, you know, I've opened more doors with a watch than I have with my words or my knowledge. You know, somebody, hey, that's a great watch. He must respect time.
Yeah.
Value it enough to want to be wearing a decent timepiece.
That's crazy, bro. Because that's like the best juxtaposition is like somebody like rushing you to get it finished, and you're like, bro, this takes time. Like this is a watch. This takes time. Like be patient. It's the perfect wordplay for something like that, man, which is incredible.
It's kind of funny because, you know, like people be like, well, I can do that, or okay, you can do that. Yes, a lot of people can do a lot of things, and I place a lot of value in people's abilities, and I say anybody can do it. People can do a lot of things. Anybody can do anything.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
It's just, will they do it? Do they value it enough to stick to it, even in the moments where it's difficult for them? I've messed up plenty of watches in the learning of doing this, and watches that I couldn't go out, and that's money that came out of my pocket to replace that part or fix that mistake or spend the extra time to undo something. And it really, honestly, I'm a very, very go person. This is for the first time outside of architecture and architectural drafting and having to stop and do things by procedure, to where I've not just been able to go in like a bull in a china shop and stop for a second, take a beat, take a breath, listen to my heartbeat for a second, and then install that second hand. That's
one of the crazy things is you know, you have to have that patience, and you can't be rushed to do something like that, because, you know, like when I'm designing something, I'm on the laptop, so I can enlarge it 800% and get the fine details. But when it comes to you with your watch, you've got 40 millimeters or less, right? 38 millimeters or less.
And sometimes, especially like, for instance, if you're doing a service, there are times where I take apart the entire movement. And at that point, you're dealing with things that are maybe 2 millimeters, 1 millimeter or less.
I lose screws,
bro.
Yeah, and you're over here with this little tiny piece of metal
there's a little thing called
you can't
flick.
reorder.
There's a little thing called flick, man. And no, you can't reorder it, and you have to be really cautious about it. Like, you put pieces of plastic over the top of something, so this way, if it does happen to flick off of your tweezers, it gets stuck underneath the piece of plastic. It doesn't go flying off to the oblivion. But flick.
Learn from your mistakes.
Oh, I've learned so many mistakes, man. So many mistakes. So yeah, it's been a lot of fun. I'm really having fun. Like, getting to meet the people. Like, somebody will hit me up like, hey, I want this. Can you make this? Yeah, I can, but take a beat. What do you really want? Okay, do you want that because you saw it? Or do you think that's all you can get? Now, what I'm trying to do is like, you can hit up Rolex. You can't hit up Rolex because you're gonna wait 2 years or buy a whole bunch of crap that you don't want just to get it before you can even get the thing you do want.
Right.
Or you're gonna wind up going in the gray market and getting it out there. But even then, like if you want this case with this dial and this strap, or you want to customize it and make it more personal, you won't be able to get that with these major luxury brands. Or if you buy a Seiko, even with Seiko, I want that case, but I wish they had done it in that dial, but they're going to force feed you this. Now, don't get me wrong, I love Seiko all the way up to Rolex, Patek, all of it. But what I'm trying to do is, this watch is an extension of my personality that day, that hour, that minute even. I'll be sitting around the house and I'll change my watches out just because I feel a different vibe coming on. It happens. I genuinely appreciate watches and it brings me joy. So what I want to do is the amount of joy it brings to be able to switch a watch out or even just put it on a different strap, I want to be able to bring that to more people. And I want them to own something that they want.
Right, for sure.
That they even had a hand in piecing it together because they reached out to me. They were on the phone. I shot them some videos. We did a live chat. They saw the parts. I said, this one or this. They said that. I'm like, okay, well, now how about these hands? They said that. They had the part and the hand in that process.
They created it. That's cool.
It's fun. And then the best part about it is at the end of it, I'll record all of these, really cool shots, put stuff together. My wife and I, we run a production company. So it's just an extension for me to be more creative in the process of being creative. So it's like it's just another extension. And I'm finding that my I don't even want to call them customers, clients. I don't like that. These relationships that I'm building, these friendships that I'm building, these repeat clients. I mean, I don't make top-notch stuff that's worth millions and millions of dollars. I don't yet, right? One day, right? But what people I'm finding are subscribing to is, hey, this is that customization. Nobody else has this. I was able to put the input on this. Yeah, I waited a month and a half, but that dial has my name around every marker. I had one guy, he wanted a Swiss piece. Okay, cool. I want to design the case. Okay, cool. What are you thinking? I'll make something similar for you. I got in touch with the factory, found out a case. Hey, my name has exactly 12 letters. Awesome. What are you thinking? I would like a day date, which is a big day at the top, a date off to the side, but around each numeral, I want the letter of my name spelled out. Yeah. And I got that built for him, and nobody would you
take the time to do it.
You can't go to Rolex and get that done. You can't go to Patek and get that done without being on their list of people that are awesome enough to get that done.
Right.
You can't get that one-of-one.
And then you can't go to the other companies because they can't do it.
They just can't do it. Yeah. Without an MOQ, I'll be like, okay, I'll assume that cost. I'll assume that effort, and I don't mind it right now because I'm not huge. I can be one-on-one with these people. But as we grow, one of our, I guess you could say our code things that we want to do is we want to video everything. When when we're as big as the Rolex, the AP, all that, I want our watchmakers to have a camera such as this pointing down at the desk. And when that watch comes in to be built, they hit a button, they put in that serial, that part is logged in at that desk. If the person who bought that watch wants to log in, I shouldn't be saying this all live, but hey, these are great ideas. Maybe you guys should take a little bit of an insight from somebody who knows not too much about the whole game here, but
that's cool.
I know the people that I'm working with love this. They can, hey, where's my watch at? Where's it at today? Where was it left off? Oh, it's sitting at this desk right now, and I'm seeing John work on it live, and I'm seeing my watch be built live. How cool would that be?
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, that's what I want to
That's one of the most impressive things about Time Panda is the BTS, like the footage that you guys are putting out there.
Appreciate it.
And that's one of those things where, Rolex and Patek Philippe and all.
We'll say a bigger. I don't want to call anybody out. That's because they're all great brands. They do the thing. I respect them,
that's the thing. They've gotten to the point where they're the higher-esque brands, right? But there's these people, and then there's this huge gap and then there's all the other watch
Little
companies
micro
right
brands
here. And so if you can find yourself somewhere in the middle, you know, from where these top brands are, and then you've got like the Kenneth Cole and the Michael Kors and everything. If you can find yourself right in this little niche right here, it's gonna be
and that's the kind of thing, like,
It's a perfect spot to be.
I don't want them to
bro.
feel like with Time Panda, I don't want them to be treated as they're in that niche, in that mid-tier. I want them to get the experience that Rolex should be giving somebody that pays $20,000 for a fucking watch.
for sure.
I'm paying $20,000 for a watch, $15,000 for a watch. I don't want to be, one, told I'm going to wait 2 years, two, told I have to buy 4 other $3,000 pieces for my wife just to be even considered to be put on a list, okay? And then 3, if I want to go ahead and throw, I don't know, a green dial and have my name engraved on it, I don't want to be told no. What I want to do is I want to offer people the quality, the experience, the packaging, the interaction, and being treated like they're royalty, even though they're spending sub $1,000. I'm gonna treat you like I would expect to be treated at Rolex, but I'm not, and I definitely wouldn't be. They wouldn't even. I know for a fact they wouldn't sell to me directly. I know this because one of my buddies is an AP. And he's like, we just wouldn't sell to you. I'm like, wow, seriously? He's like, yeah, I don't care if you walked in with money or not. Rolex has a. That's not. You're not our
Demographic, yeah, that's crazy.
What makes someone a demographic? I mean, at the end of the day, like, how would
history, buying history with
History?
with
Okay.
Rolex,
Yep.
it comes buying history.
Okay, so
Yeah, I
buying
can see
history.
that.
I mean, so it's not just status.
Not just status. It's
okay.
buying history. Know that you're not just gonna. Because, for instance, I hate to use this as an example, and I don't want to go off on a tangent, but somebody who has a lot of money and understands the watch game can go to Rolex, get a $15,000 piece, or let's just talk extreme. Let's say a $19,000 Daytona. And right now, in the gray market, the Daytona, because they're sought after and one of the most famous pieces when it comes to recognizable watches, they're going for $30,000, $40,000. So what the AD wants to know is that you didn't just come there, develop this relationship, buy this piece at 15 and go flip it for 30.
Right.
So they'll make you buy all these pieces to see if you're a serious purchaser and a loyal member. And sometimes even if you go to buy another watch, they'll be like, hey, we're that Daytona that we just sold you last month, just to confirm that you didn't flip it.
That's crazy.
That
I mean,
is
that's kind of
interesting.
like the shoe game, though. Honestly, like the shoe game's the same way, man. If you like when it comes to the shoe stores that have the Travis Scott shoes and like the collab shoes that are hard to find, you know, they'll let you not backdoor them where you're stealing them. It's backdooring where like, hey, let me buy 6 pair.
They'll let you.
what I
They'll
mean?
let you do it, and even
But-
knowing that you're most likely going to flip it.
Yeah, but they'll make you buy 3 or 4 of the everyday Nikes that they have in stock as well.
See, now at least they're understanding that you're doing this, and they're cool with that because that's also one marketing and getting their name out there, and they're bringing up the value. Like,
Well, they've
cool.
got quotas to hit, right? And
Yeah.
it's like we in order for us to get these Travis Scott shoes, we've got to get the Stefan Janoskis, and we've got to get the everyday
All this
Nikes
stuff
as
needs to
well.
keep
Like,
moving.
so all the $85 Nikes that just sit on the shelves, like they have to keep selling those. So it's like, okay, I'll let you buy 2 pair of Travis Scotts, but you're gonna have to buy 2 pair of these as well.
See, now that's one thing I've never really got into was the shoe game. I like a nice pair of shoes, but I've never been a collector because I just beat them up way too quickly.
Bro, peep these
I saw those pumps, bro.
pumps, bro.
I remember my first pair of pumps, man. I was impatient. The first pair of pumps that you were supposed to get were the basketball ones that actually had the orange basketball on them
Yeah.
when they came out. I was impatient. I didn't have my size. And my parents were divorced. And my father came to visit us, and he was like, "I want to buy my son a new pair of shoes." And I was like, "I want the pumps, Dad." And I
Yeah.
settled for a crappy pair of pumps. Didn't even get the ones I want. But those are
Did
dope.
you get the one with the tennis ball though? Those Andre
I think
Agassi's were
I
fire,
think I got
dude.
the Agassi's.
The Agassi's are
I know.
fire.
I know. I
Those
wanted
are
the
coming
basketball
back
ones,
too,
though, man.
bro.
I love the pumps.
Yeah, dude. You know what, man? These it's strange how like just pumping up the tongue itself brings you back to when
By
you
the
were
way,
12
the
years old
vibe in
again.
here it brings back my child, man. Like I was born as I'm gonna say my age here. I was born in '79, guys. I'm an old man.
All right.
Right. I'm getting there, but coming back in here, it reminds me. It reminds me of MTV, man.
That's hey,
you
I'm
know what
here
I mean?
for that.
I
bro.
remember, like, I walked in. I think I just overheard Max Headroom playing in the background.
You did. You even asked me about it.
I literally like last year I did a video where I did something funny.
You showed me, yeah.
Yeah. So I was just like, I feel at home here. So like I said, yeah, brother from another mother kind of deal. Like it was cool. So anyways, watches.
Back on it
Back
again.
on the watches.
But yeah, dude, like even the Max Headroom thing. I don't know if I told you, but when we first got this store, they were like, "Hey, just give us a checklist, like a wish list of everything that you want for the store." And so I was like whatever I want for the store.
Wait, hold on, what?
Yeah.
Say what?
And they were like, yeah, like whatever, like your full wish, whatever you want. And so I was like, podcast in the front windows. We got to build this wall for the lab. I want robot mannequins. Well, like where like when you when you walk in, you know the mannequin's actually greeting you. And when
That was the best part.
yeah, like after we gave them the wish list, they were like, we can't do any of this. And I was like, what? Like you asked for a wish list, right?
Yeah.
Like I don't know, I'm shooting for the stars here.
But
So
I love what you've done with the place.
well, thank you, and that's the thing, bro. So like the wish list was like, all right, got to cross that off, got to cross that off, got to cross that off. But how do we figure out how to make a robot mannequin that speaks to you when you walk in the front door? I did the Max Headroom. I did an 11-hour YouTube video.
That's how that all came.
Yeah,
Okay.
so then I just bought a little $70 Amazon
it works.
tablet, put it on there. Yeah,
It works.
it's annoying to all the employees because there's this one laugh that Max Headroom does.
I know it.
Yeah, it's like rah, rah, rah.
Oh, that one. Oh,
Yeah.
I was thinking about the one I showed you where.
Oh, that no,
Okay,
that,
okay.
yeah,
I know which
that
one
one
you're
all
talking
day is a classic. But yeah, it's one of those things, man, where it's like we built the store to just to be interactive, and when they told us we can't do anything on the list, it's like, all right, we'll figure it out ourselves.
Well,
bro.
at least they let you have this awesome podcast studio.
Dude, they like
Well, we went to the.
that was my favorite fucking comment was Tim Perry. Tim Perry's the CFO of
The levy.
like
Of
all
NAP.
the companies that own like
There's they own the Levy. It's one company, but they are property. But they're in the Avalon in Atlanta, Georgia, and they have properties all over the United States.
Got it. Okay.
So
that
he's
do something all similar to this.
yeah.
Okay.
yes.
Yeah,
Vibe-wise, too.
most of them are on steroids compared to this.
Yeah, this
Oh,
one's
really?
definitely
But-
a smaller
Scale.
version of what they've done all over.
Okay.
Well, yeah.
All right.
Yeah, but we had a little. I just like in marker on the floor. I just drew like where the podcast stage was going to be. Took a photo of it, and I was like, "This is where the podcast is going to be, front window." And Tim Perry loved it, and it's like one of those things because like Kenwood Mall did not want us to do any of this
I
in the
can't
window.
imagine why. I think that's freaking cool.
It's so
They were
crazy,
trying to kick
man.
us out.
Yeah, like literally trying to pull our
Yeah.
lease.
Trying to kick us out of the Kenwood Mall because we had a podcast and a window. We just had one couch and then a small white table and microphones that were coming off it. And as soon as those microphones went up, they're like, "Are you broadcasting out of your store?" And
Like not yet.
like, yeah, we haven't got started yet. And then they said it was breach of contract, lease, and all that. So
That's
we
ridiculous.
also had an article written for
About
that,
it?
By the
for-
Cincinnati Business, the Business Courier,
Yeah.
and they took it off the internet because they.
Why do people just not want people to do anything creative and grow? And I just man, gatekeepers.
You know what? I get both sides. I see both sides because they're in such rare air because they were getting Tiffany's from downtown. They were Saks Fifth Avenue just closed downtown. They just got the Louis Vuitton store, and they don't. They didn't want the success story of the young brand getting the
Grassroots
spot.
coming from nothing, growing up to everything.
Which I understand. I understand both sides. It would be great marketing for Kenwood because hey, we're taking on this thing if it does well. You know what I mean? But if it doesn't, now we're opening up the door for all these other companies to call us and say, hey,
same thing.
But you know, we're
In a
one
way,
of a kind.
I understand it as well, but I don't think anybody's going to be like you guys, man.
100%, bro. 100%. We've had offers for, you know, people want us to open the store all across the United States, but it's just me, Andrew, and Tyrell, bro.
Now,
so.
Here's my interview questions for you guys. Hey, by the way, this is a new Panda interview.
Panda TV.
Right, Panda TV. Hey,
here for it.
That kind of flowed a little bit.
Got the wifey involved. Her
right?
ears just perked up.
No, but so when it comes to your brand, do you feel if it gets bigger that you're going to lose some of
the cool factor?
I don't want to say the cool factor, and I don't want to say the control, but the quality standard and making sure it stays on brand. Do you worry about that?
I have an opinion on that.
Go for it.
So as we're working shifts that, because like, kind of like holding the fort down on top of the brand making with just the keeping the store open, you hear comments, just mind your business. And people don't know who owns anything about it because they walk in, they just see a store amongst other stores. And I think people already have this idea that is already big business. It's already some kind of a conglomerate because of how it is. They already have that mentality.
For real, like this looks
You know what I
like
mean?
it should be franchised or corporate and put in multiple stores because it already has a brand, it has an image, and it has a look and a feel that can be multiplied and replicated and a hit.
And that's the key. That's the key is to be able to take this store, pick it up, and drop it in Atlanta.
Now, my question is, do you worry about losing your voice? And
See you, buddy.
Do you worry about that and losing your image in it if it was to leave your direct contact?
A little bit because there's so many moving parts in this one compared to other stores like, you know, the podcast every Tuesday. So if we did a store in Atlanta, our concept would be the same thing, this exact same store, the lab, but instead of a 7-Up machine, it would be Dr. Pepper or
Something,
whatever
right.
correlates, you know, Coke for
Now,
Atlanta.
would just be one broadcast studio and then maybe projected live to that studio on a screen kind of deal?
They would podcast. Locals of their area would podcast.
Yeah. So
okay.
here's
Interesting.
here's the trick to
By the
that.
way, a little inside story, guys. Here's some inside news for you guys.
Right.
Yeah.
So I mean, but that was the concept is to do the podcast in all of the windows and all of the stores, right? And then to let the employees of that store run the podcast. Because what we're doing is if we open up a store in Atlanta, we could say, hey, we're looking for the top 10 music artists, top 10 business owners, top 10 clothing designers, and we want to interview you, right? So right then we got a list of all these like big names that are in Atlanta that we can interview. So then now they're coming into the store, and now we're correlating and hitting the streets of Atlanta with their top clientele already, right? Okay. So it kind of puts us right through the back door, through the VIP stage. You know, without having to come to Atlanta and say, hey, we're a new clothing brand. You guys never heard of us before. We're really cool. Come check us out. So instead of doing that, we've got this little thing where, hey, come in, we'll interview you, and then, you know, then we can take both of our you know, fans and put them together that way.
Well, I look forward to seeing it.
Right. And that's the thing. Like, so another thing we wanted to do where it was almost like a Vice Land. So, you know, YouTube would have, you know, Native TV Presents, and then this podcast is the PowWow. And then the podcast from Atlanta is ATL or whatever, you know.
So it's kind of like a mother company that brings all the other shows, just like Vice.
Umbrella.
Just like
It's like
Vice
umbrella,
or Complex.
I like it.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
one
Roll
of
with
those.
it.
And then and
Roll
really
with it.
Roll
Let's
with
go.
it.
Yeah.
Let's go. Do this shit live.
people come to the store and they're experiencing it for the first time, and we get repetitively to the point we were going to make like a wall of it, but we get the coolest clothing store all the time. This is the coolest clothing store I've ever been to. Coolest store, even if they don't know if it's a clothing store.
Dude, I got addicted the day I walked in here. I was like, these are my people. I'm going to fuck with them.
Yeah. Appreciate that.
And it happens so often, and yet people still think, and they do think, that it is a corporate-owned location just based on the sheer detail that we've put into the four walls plus the lab. And
I like how you say plus the lab, like that's his own little thing back there. That's
it
cool.
is its own thing. And but that's the thing is, like, when you hear that so often, you have to like remember that they're seeing it from a position that they don't know me, they don't even know Jay, they don't know Tyrell.
You could just be some employee that they hired to work part time.
No idea. They have no clue. Mm-hmm. There's no indication really, because most people come in it thinking that they're people that are running the show aren't in the building.
Right.
Why would they be?
Right.
If I go into a store, I rarely expect...
Especially a store that
Tommy's
looks like
not going to be in Tommy Hilfiger.
Right. You're not going to think about a store like that, but if you don't know it's local, it's easier to think the person sitting behind the desk is just there and like they're doing a job, but clocking clocking out. But we're like vested interest on everything they say because I listen to every word.
And then on top of that, like
feedback.
The fact that you guys are here and you could hear that feedback, you can implement it right away.
Mm-hmm.
With like, it's you guys are the ones calling the shots. You're not waiting for some corporate trickle down.
Yeah,
that's a good conversation because today Angel and I were talking about the next 513 hats because we just got. It's good. Good transition here. We just got the native Dare hat in.
That's why it looks familiar.
Yeah. So we got the native Dare hat. We've got native Louisville. We've got native Chicago for the Bears there. Columbus, Ohio, and that is Indianapolis Pacers and the Fever right there. And then the one I'm wearing is 812 for the wifey's family out there in like Rising Sun, Indiana.
My favorite one is that Dare hat. That looks pretty cool, man.
Yeah, bro. It does, cool. Man. It does, and it went quick too. So we only make 50 of each. So once they're gone, and then we'll move on to another colorway. I might go ahead and paint up a dial
to have that native done up in the Dare.
That'd be
just
dope,
fun,
dude.
Man. I think that's pretty cool. I didn't even think about that concept.
Darn it, man.
Y'all beat me to it.
But yeah, the Dare hat, it says organically grown by some Ohio kids,
that's
which
cool.
is
Is that like your slogan?
Well, organically grown in Ohio was the slogan. Only like I'm from Chicago, but I claim Kentucky. But it was all like grassroots marketing downtown, like backpack,
how it's supposed to be done.
All the bars downtown. Like I really just tapped into the bar scene. I got a bunch of the bartenders wearing my hats, and then I was printing shirts for the bars out there. And on the back of the shirt, I would always make sure for the girls that the native logo was
right
on the back.
Ass.
Yeah,
just right there. So
and then the guys was on the sleeves, so like you can always see native.
That's smart.
It was genius.
And on the girls,
bro.
and see now you're
every time they're turning around to make a drink, that logo's right there.
But I hate to say it, so the one that you did for the girl, it was right on the little, right here.
Back corner, yeah.
Now, I'm imagining the reason you did that. Tell me your reasoning for doing that on the women specifically.
Because they're always turning around making drinks. You know what I mean? And in between the shoulders looks good on a guy, doesn't look good on a girl. A girl doesn't have a big wingspan. So obviously putting it right there, like, the shirt is always clean. It's always, typically it's like the flattest part of the shirt, right? It's not all loose goose.
And I hate to say it, but that's just a little bit of deeper marketing. I don't know if you actually did that, but if the woman is your bartender, typical bartender guy mentality, when the bartender turns around, the first place their eyes typically will go
is the ass, and then boom to the left.
Yeah, I didn't want to say it. Yeah. I didn't want to say it, but it's the truth. Cool.
Yeah,
the
ass, and then oh shit, native. Okay,
smart. So, where should I put a watch to get the same kind of marketing? What should I do?
I don't know.
I don't know.
Man.
I thought about putting a watch on my ankle today just to be like, hey, so I really like watches.
Right. Dude, you know what?
I really like watches.
I'm definitely not surprised you came in wearing two different watches, right? Are they two different times?
Yes, actually.
All right. And I figured as much because that's baller status, bro. If you got two watches, there's no reason to be like, what time is it? Well, this one says 4:20. This one says 4:22.
It's 4:20.
You know what I mean? So being able to like, oh well. I got family in London, so it's just
that's
checking.
funny that you bring up London because, like I mentioned, Oli and I, we shoot Formula One, and when we are working with our team out in London, all of our cameras all have to be on GMT time because when we send our footage and everything back to London, they need to know what time it was taken London
Time stamped, yeah.
And when you're Formula One, a lot of it is coming out of GMT time. So a lot of their timing is coming from GMT. So I'm dealing with a lot of people in London all the time. One of our main contacts, his name is Glenn Dunbar, best Formula One photographer out there, by the way, guys.
Hey.
In case you didn't know. Glenn, I love you, buddy. He's out there, and we're always doing work with him. He works with a couple of teams, and we do some video editing for him, so as not to interrupt his timing with his family and this, that, and the other. It's nice to know what time it is over there, so I know when to be able to catch him a little bit easier.
Yeah, I'm like that with China, bro. China's 12 hours. I don't know if China's 12 hours behind or 12 hours ahead.
They're in the future.
Okay. Because I'm always
They're ahead of
like,
us,
yeah,
apparently.
and that makes sense because we got those hats quick.
At least one day.
Yeah, yeah.
Day ahead.
Yeah, that's wild though.
Speaking of China, how about this? First off, watches, and then second off, let's talk about China. So
Transition watches.
Transition watches, and let's talk about China. So we've all seen everything coming out about these luxury goods made in China and this, that, and the other, and blah, 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 blah. Well, boys and girls, there's a lot of good stuff that still does come out of China. Like, for one, those freaking hats look great.
Yeah, appreciate it,
By the way,
bro.
speaking of good stuff that comes out of China, they did a great job. And just a little, let everybody in a little bit of the sausage. Guys, some of the parts for some of the watches that you really value also come from China. Just throwing that out there real quick, as do a majority of my parts come from China.
Oh, yeah.
Now, we also use Swiss parts. We use Chinese parts. But by me being able to contact these factories direct, I'm able to do a little bit more customization than you can. Whereas if you went to like AliExpress, yes, it's still coming from a very similar factory that I'm getting mine from, but now I've reached out to this person directly.
That's already producing MOQs.
Yes, I can get it.
I
I can get it one piece at a time, or if I need to be like, hey, this one in particular dial, he wants his name on the dial, or they want to get the Philadelphia Eagles with both Super Bowls at the 10 and the 6. Can you do this? In which I've just recently done for somebody. So
it's cool.
Yeah, it's,
you just like jogged my memory of a watch that I was obsessed with when I was like 10 years old.
No, let's talk about it. I love hearing about people's obsession about watches. Come on now,
it was
man.
a White Sox watch. So
Okay.
it was,
that's cool.
It was a leather band on it, and the face itself was just like probably black with the
sock, or was it the
SOX? It was the SOX. But it was the holographic one. So like just on the glass itself was the holographic thing. And so like especially like out in the sunlight, that thing looked like it was sticking off the.
My question is, what'd you do with it?
No clue.
Oh,
no clue. Definitely didn't sell it. I
But
definitely
still,
didn't sell it. It's in one of my shoe boxes somewhere for sure.
Wow, man. Like I wish, looking back now, I wish I had held on to a lot of the watches that I had as a kid. Like
especially because that's like your passion now.
Yeah,
right?
now
So-
right. I didn't think like back then. I was like, oh, cool, Timex Mickey Mouse watch. I didn't think about it. Where I'm like, now I'd kill for an old school Timex Mickey Mouse watch. Like, yeah, it's not a Rolex, but man, it speaks to the quirkiness of me.
That's
you know what I mean?
that's my dream watch. Is
The Timex
Mickey Mouse Rolex. The Rolex.
And I don't think. But did they ever make one?
John Mayer's got one. I don't know if it's
yeah,
real.
John Mayo's got some crap made, but man, I think John Mayer and like. I think he's related to Hans Wildorf at some point in their family tree or something like this, because he gets whatever the fuck
he wants, bro. And like whenever somebody talks about John Mayer, like if they know him,
all they know
like,
about is his watch collection.
He's magic. Like he's a beautiful magic man. I don't understand.
Have you ever seen his watch collection on unboxings?
Oh yeah.
I don't want to say unboxings, but yeah, they're great. They're great.
Yeah, that dude. I'm telling you, man. That Mickey Mouse Rolex. I've got to look it up now to see if that's actually was a custom or real, because I thought that was a real deal.
He can, if I'm not mistaken, he can actually ask them to do special things for him. And
oh,
do it.
for sure, dude.
Like if
sure.
I want my guitar pick on my. Matter of fact, I bet you he can get them to make a dial out of his guitar pick. That would be dope if they actually pulled that off.
Look at that thing, bro.
That is amazing.
So you told me something the other day too. Last time we were talking, and I never put two and two together. That like the Daytona is obviously like the creme de la creme. Well, I wouldn't
say it's their most complicated, but I would say it's probably one of their most recognized
Yeah.
pieces, and it's definitely not their most expensive.
And it was all done because of the Daytona 500, which I never put two and two together.
So
bro.
it was originally supposed to go into outer space, and it was originally called the Cosmograph.
And what did Timex get that?
No, Speedmaster.
Speedmaster
wound
did.
up going to space, and Daytona wound up not making it. So,
And
the Cosmograph wound up not.
I
making
heard
it.
what's his name didn't even wear it.
No, he had
Buzz
to put,
Aldrin?
Yeah, he had to put something else on it. So, guys, yes, I love watches, and yes, there are a lot of geeks out there who know every last bit about the history of watches, down to the reference number of each individual watch, even if the dial changed. Not me. I like watches. I like the way they look. I think they're pretty cool, and I know we can build them. And I like the mechanics of it. I'm an engineer by trade, so understand, like, knowing that this isn't driven by batteries, but literally it's done by potential energy stored up into a spring that releases so many times per minute, and it makes this thing tick, and there's a whole bunch of things interacting with each other.
That's John Mayer.
It's the equivalent of, I feel, wearing a car on your wrist, if you ask me. So that's just really cool.
I love your mentality.
So looking at this John Mayer Rolex, it definitely looks custom. It looks like
Let me
somebody.
see this, man.
But the other one I showed you.
Oh, I know the people. You want one?
Yeah, I do. Bad.
That's awesome.
As a matter of
As a
fact,
matter of
bro.
fact.
I know.
I'd love one.
I can find this dial.
Yeah.
Can you?
I can build it for you, but but what I won't do, for everybody out there in podcast world and everything like this, what I won't do is put Rolex or put another brand on a watch. I refuse to do that. I don't like replicas. I don't like clones. I don't like any of that stuff. That's not cool. Because one, say you own a clone, okay, and then you die. That sucks. Yeah, but that's gonna happen, people. And then your kid finds that watch and is now wearing dad's watch that he's known him wearing forever.
And then takes it down to
No. And then he passes it even further down the line and gives it to his kid. Now, the chances that somebody's going to know that is a clone 2 generations down the line is almost impossible to know that was a clone.
Even if they heard stories, they're going to be like, no,
but
this
maybe
is
one
real.
day they're going to think, hey, dad's generational watch or great-grandpa's generational watch, I'm going to go in and get this thing appraised and get it insured, only to find out that it's worth $50 and it's fake from Canal Street. That's the kind of...
That's painful.
Right. I don't care about the value. I don't care about the brand's stock. Okay. What I care about is the heritage. What I care about is the legacy.
Authenticity?
Yes, authenticity is important. I care about the authenticity, but not because of the money associated with the authenticity, but with the fact that you're real, and it's somebody could be proud of it, and it wasn't bought fake, and it wasn't based on a lie, and it wasn't based on a whole bunch of lies that you told your son, that he told his mom, that he told all of his friends, and now you have it in your possession. All of a sudden, everything that you've been telling all of your friends in your whole life has been based on something that you've been so proud of is a lie.
Living clickbait.
It's a lie, and that's why I don't want clones or any of this crap out there. Not because of I care so much about these big name brands. No, I don't, because honestly, if you really know how the sausage is made, Chinese make great watches. I've seen great clones with just as good of quality. You know, like, I'm not going to lie. I've seen that. But what I don't want is my great-grandson to think that his great-grandfather was a lying SOB.
Right. So let me ask you a question, man. Have you been in New York?
Oh, yeah. I was born and raised, brother.
Okay. So now
New York, walk, talk, dog, Long Island, coffee, car. Yeah, absolutely, bro.
So
Awesome.
being in New York, there's Rolex dudes on the streets
Canal
all
Street.
day,
Yep.
all day. So being like with, you know, your mentality and knowing like the
game.
Yeah, knowing like just by the weight of the watch when somebody hands it to you.
Weight is
Like
usually dead on.
Yeah. Oh, really?
Yes.
Okay.
So there's a couple of things they look very much into is weight.
And that's easy to replicate.
It's easy, just add weight.
Yeah.
Okay. Cheap. Usually their movements are cheaper. The metals are cheaper because it's not made of a better metal.
Mm-hmm.
So they'll have to typically add weight as opposed to remove it. Removing isn't typically the thing. Dead giveaways. I'm gonna blow up the clone world right now.
Let's go, bro.
But dead giveaways. One, if you see the crown on the crystal, it's most likely a fake because the actual crown on the crystal cannot be seen unless it's at a certain angle under a certain spectrum and it's lined up with a certain thing. You can't see that crown.
Explain that.
All right, so there's a laser etched crown on the crystal of Rolex right down there at the 6 o'clock. And if you turn it at a certain angle and the light catches it just right, you can see the laser etching through the glass.
Okay.
And it typically has to be through a loop because it's so small and so microscopic.
Mm-hmm.
But if you see, typically...
That just shows that the glass was made from Rolex?
No, it shows that because it's usually all cased together. And that just shows that one of the things that it's a genuine Rolex because there are clones that are getting much better at process and figuring these things out. Yeah. But a dead giveaway is people aren't usually... There are people who are buying the really, really high dollar clones and, you know, I don't really want to be having these big deeper conversations, but there are people buying these higher dollar clones and those higher dollar clones get a little bit more effort put into the making of said clone. So when they're researching the original piece that it came from, they'll look deeper into etchings. They'll look deeper into whether things are lined up in a certain way or stuff like this. So they put more time into it, and those clones are a little bit more expensive. Mm-hmm. But then you have like what they call your single A. It's single A, double A, triple A, and then up to like 5A, which is like your super clone or soups or dupes or anything like this.
Stolen right out of the fucking warehouse.
No, yeah, basically, essentially, if we know the sausage is made.
I mean, that's what I've heard. I don't mean to cut you off, but I have heard like midnight bags or midnight shoes where you know the warehouse closes down. The employees go back to the warehouse at midnight and start reproducing either Rolexes or Coach bags.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Bags.
I wouldn't be surprised if some of these bigger brands, knowing that their clones or their dupes or their replicas are selling
just
so well
as
that they're
popular that they
or
have
that
to.
They're just like, hey guys, how about we help invest in that and we go ahead and start making some of our own clones and also swoop up on some of that market. I wouldn't be surprised if that's the case.
It happens all the time.
I'm going to get banned in the watch industry if I keep on talking about this.
You know, I warned you.
but
y'all got me all juiced up over here. I see what's going on.
But that's the thing, man. So Bape, it's a popular
Bape,
streetwear brand.
Bape,
you know, he did the same thing. Like it's coming out now that Migo doesn't own it. You know, first of all, he stole. I'll take it. He stole the whole Planet of the Apes logo from another New York street brand called Fucked. F-U-C-T. Yeah. So he was actually just a photographer in one of Fucked's like shows that they did. So then he took that logo or design back to Japan, started creating his own, and when Bape started getting big, he started knocking off his own clothing. So he was like, okay, instead of using the 14-ounce material that's heavy, I'll do 8-ounce, and then instead of using this type of manufacturer, I'll just use Gildan or something like that.
Absolutely. And I wouldn't be surprised if that's the case. Now the problem with
it's genius, bro. It's so genius because you're knocking out your competitors, and you're going, okay, I want to have a high-end brand, but I want everybody to be able to buy it. So I'm going to make the high-end brand, and I'm also going to make a generic version that anybody can buy on the black market.
And now I'm hitting both demographics, and I'm able to.
And it makes my brand more popular because my brand's now getting like
duplicate. It's noticed and recognized enough that people want to duplicate it.
Yeah.
And replicate.
And then it shows the quality of what you originally produced.
Yeah.
It's beyond.
I didn't even think about that part. Like produce a bad replica and show why the more important one or the actuals are more important.
Yeah, scratch resistant fucking glass.
Hey, if anybody wants to replicate
else.
Time Panda watches, go ahead. Just tell me like how you're doing it, and I'll try to make sure I'm just slightly better than you all the time.
That's the trick, bro. That's the trick. It's just being a little bit better than everybody else.
I'm trying to be. I'm trying to be the best I can be. Let's be honest here. I I would love to eventually get to, AP level, or, I'm going to go my Grail, Breguet. I just think they're the most beautifully designed pieces. Some people put them as just normal luxury. I put them as high tier luxury. Just the way they're put together, I think they're just beautifully constructed, and the history and all that behind it. Those are my style of pieces, and I completely forgot where I was going. I literally just pictured a Breguet, the Breguet tradition.
It's your holy grail.
It's my Grail, and I'm just sitting there visiting in my head, and I just went into La La Land, to be honest with you.
Yeah. So, what would be your favorite piece from that grail?
The tradition.
The tradition.
Absolutely, in platinum, or gold, or steel, or any of the tradition. Absolutely, any tradition. Yeah, and what's cool about their tradition is each piece is numbered. So your piece, when you buy your piece, that piece is your number. So if somebody comes back and tries to repair that, like for instance, it has, I'll show it to you after the show, but it's got a smaller dial at the top. It has all the time in it, and the rest of it is just showing the movement and all the working pieces that's making it move inside the actual front of the dial, which is freaking cool. But on that dial that actually has the time and all the numbers on it, it shows number NO 1761. That's number 1761 of that tradition. So this piece is mine, and this is the only piece with that number on it. It's
That's
not
dope.
the serial. It's this piece number. It's number this many off the line in the production of this. So I think that's just
Each
beautiful.
piece or all, like, you know what I mean?
Each piece is numbered. So there's number 1, and then the next piece that comes off is number 2, and the next piece that comes off is number 3. So there's somebody out there who literally has number 1 Breguet somewhere, and it's probably actually in the Breguet archives somewhere.
That's crazy.
Probably. Yeah.
Yeah, I would imagine
That-
they
that-
didn't let go of their first piece.
That seems like a logistics nightmare, right? Like you lose one piece, and all of a sudden you got to put piece 3, like piece 4 to match piece 3 because you lost piece 3.
As far as like the pieces inside going to the actual. Oh my God.
Yeah.
That would be a
Yeah.
pain in the butt.
So you're talking about there's limited amount and they're numbered.
I believe. Oh God, here we go. Getting into me supposed to be knowing a lot more about watches that I don't actually know.
No, it's okay.
I'm
just curious. I'm just curious
imagine
how they would.
I imagine each year, Breguet, much as other companies, releases a certain number. Now, for instance, I know watches like Rolex or Tag, they'll produce in mass, like thousands. Okay, it's a lot. That's what they do. Whereas, for instance, like a piece like Breguet, where it's a little bit more hand craftsmanship, or other watches where it's a little bit more. I don't want to say refined because Rolex is rather refined, but just a little more bespoke, I guess, and more hand done and machine turn the dial to get the guilloche pattern on there and hand.
I mean,
polishing and
there's
hand
levels.
engraving.
There's you got your
but
Rolex.
a company like that
you've
might
got your,
only make 50 of them,
right.
and those might go for $300,000 a piece.
Just like a Rolls Royce.
Yeah.
You've got the manufacturer versions, and you got the ones where you've got you in there, making sure everything's fine tuned.
Yep. So, and like, who's that one company that does the Rolls Royces? I forget, but if you get any of their extra goodies on it, it hikes the Rolls Royce up by hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah, hundreds of thousands, just to have that person's name. Anyways, and
so we were talking earlier about like the how Rolex doesn't want you to create your own, right?
So now there's people like John Mayer, okay?
Yeah.
Who can be like, hey, I want this, and they'll be like, yeah, sure, we'll give that to you because he's fucking John Mayer.
Yeah,
You know?
and he's gonna pay it.
Right. Well, typically, yeah, he'll pay it, but they're not going to be like, hey, we're going to make extra money because John Mayer's willing to do this. They're more like, no, we're going to do this because he's John Mayer. They're not going to be like, yes, cool. I think he just gets, because I think he's done rather well, and he's got a big history with them, and they know by putting a piece on him, everybody's going to talk about it. It's going to become the talk of the town, and it's just going to elevate it more. It's
Marketing.
It's influencer marketing. I hate to say it. It's influencer marketing. So.
It works, man.
Yeah.
It definitely works.
And his pieces are pretty dope.
Yeah.
I like his stuff.
Yeah, I remember a video he did with Kanye, and he was like, "How much is that Jesus chain?" And Kanye was like, I think about 22 grand. And
He was talking about his 40 grand watch.
yeah,
Like
40 grand watch. He's like $40,000 on
that
my
was
wrist.
early John Mayer.
Yeah, that was early John Mayer.
Now his watch game has gone up at least by $120,000 each wrist.
Oh yeah, oh yeah,
You know,
yeah. He was like, because he was asking about Kanye about his chain, and Kanye was like, that's 22 grand, and then John just lifted his wrist and he goes 40,000.
Guys, if any of you guys ever
Kanye
want
goes,
to pay
that's
40 grand,
stuntastic.
if you guys ever want to pay 40 grand for a watch, let me know. I'll try to make you a $40,000 watch. No problem.
Hey, we got one here. We've got a 101 custom native.
You do have a
watch.
101.
The price on it is $675. I think we might be able to bring it down.
Whoa.
Maybe $100. If anybody's
I'm okay with that. Hey, I'm okay with
If
that.
anybody's watching here in the podcast and wants
Do it.
to,
Hey,
I'm
check it
gonna
out.
take $100 off.
I painted this one. I'm not a big painter per se, but I was like, I want to go ahead.
You
and
did paint. I saw it. Looks great.
I painted that. I wanted to do that one for y'all. That was for me to you. I'm not a big painter, but hey, nobody else has that one. That's for damn sure.
That's a one of one.
That's
Yeah.
definitely a 101.
That's a one. That's the thing is like what you're able to do is you're able to give a one of one experience and put someone's personality on their wrist.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's where the value is highest for me is because you can literally put someone's story for them to show everybody on a daily basis, and that's powerful. I want to be on the stage one. I'm excited.
I would love to build you one, to be
awesome.
honest with you.
Yeah.
And I would love to go really deep into it with you. Like, hey, let's really go into, let's maybe do some printing on the dial, some laser engraving on the dial, maybe change the indices to be, I don't know, we'll think about it. We'll brainstorm
Indigo
together.
blue, bro, black, and then just like how your watch is shining right now.
Oh, speaking of which, wrist check, guys. What do you got on?
I got on a Michael Kors, man.
All right.
Which I've got a question about something like this too.
Sure.
So this watch here, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's got the band that looks like
Bracelet.
the Rolex
Bracelet. That's the Jubilee style.
the Jubilee style, and then you've got the bezel here,
Fluted.
fluted bezel.
Yep.
Right. So like this one looks like a Rolex, and I get it all the time.
It has.
People go, I love it.
It looks like a chronograph. Well, it's set up like a chronograph, which is made
The
to
3 circles.
Correct, which has a very. That 3 circle is called the Panda style dial because of 3 circles. Excuse me.
Panda.
Panda. So much panda.
Right.
Some patient
and
panda out
that
here.
is made to kind of it looks like a mix between what I would say would be a date just and a chronograph with the fluted or with the Jubilee bracelet. So yeah, that's a decent looking watch, man. I like it.
Is that Cam?
It's big.
That might be Cam Taylor, bro. But yeah, so like when I love the bezel on it, and I'm a huge fan of the bracelet just because of the bracelet having that like Rolex style.
I think you would look good in a day date, man. To be
Hey,
honest.
trust me, I think I would look good in a day too, bro.
You know what I'm talking about, day date. Actually, I got a nice looking day date back. We'll call we got a nice looking day date back in my lab.
Hey, let's go, bro. That's dope.
We'll get you fitted up properly.
So when somebody's asking, like they go, hey, I want to watch, and then you start breaking it down to figure out what they really like and what draws them to the watch. Is this band something that draws people towards the Rolex, or is it like the bezel itself, or
dial,
or do people want the diamonds on the bezel?
The dial tends to draw the most attention.
So the actual face itself, not the bezel.
A lot of people will see a dial because if you've noticed, if you look at like I hate to use Rolex as an example, but they're a very easy to use example.
Yeah, for sure.
Their cases have always stayed very similar, okay, up until this recent drop with the Land Dweller. By the way, I love the Land Dweller Rolex. I would love to have one if you ever want to sponsor me. But the Land Dweller, it was a change in a look theory that they follow. For instance, your fluted bezel, they've reduced the amount of flutes that come on it, which give it a little bit more of a shimmer. The light dances on it a little bit differently.
Okay.
So
I love the flute of this.
Yeah, flute is beautiful.
You
I
know,
love
the John Mayer Mickey Mouse watch that I just showed you. It had the flat bezel on it.
That's the tachyometer bezel. That's
Okay.
set up on a Panda. That's set up on a Daytona, but it's the full blackout Daytona, and it actually has a tachyometer around the outside of it to where the reason behind the chronograph.
Scuba.
Well, no, that's a dive watch, but the reason behind the chronograph, you can actually do. You can.
Oh, you
judge
told me
speed.
this.
Yes.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
like
yeah.
it has numbers to where you can start the timer, and if you know, okay, this is a mile. It took him this much time to go this distance. You can associate, or you can do the calculations and find out how fast he was going, which is pretty interesting. Yeah.
That's dope, dude. Yeah, I've just like I've, you know, this watch was maybe $150 at the most, I think.
You have a watch on your wrist. That's all that matters to me. Somebody like me, anyways.
Like the battery's been dead on it, and honestly,
man.
I you know I can read watches, but I can't read watches as well as a digital watch.
To be honest with you, you know what does a really good job at keeping time? Your phone.
Yeah.
Okay. To be realistic with you, most people don't wear watches to tell the time anymore.
I've got a buddy in Chicago. Shout out to Dave Campbell, man. He's the truth, dude. And he's been like he used to work for Kiss 107 here. He started doing a bunch of commercials, like voiceover commercials for Coors Light and stuff. Now he's living in Chicago. But every time he's out and he's got a watch on, somebody, you know, asks him the time, he's like, I don't know, man. He's like, I
haven't set this thing in weeks.
I wear this watch so you know what time it is.
Right.
Not so I know what time it is.
Ooh.
Yeah,
Ooh,
dude. And
that
that was the hardest line I've ever heard,
That's
bro. He's
super
like,
hard, man.
I wear this watch so you know what time it is.
Actually, that's dope.
Yeah, bro. Yeah.
That's
100%.
Really so I wear a watch. One, it's an expression to me. Two, I value time. I'm typically never late. You'll learn this about me. The more you deal with me, I'm always either early, because if you're on time, you're late. In my eyes, you're on time, you're late. If you're early, perfect. So I look at people who wear watches, even if it's not ticking at the moment, as people who value time.
Yeah.
Okay. Or at least value the expression of themselves enough to wear it outwardly and not just keep who they are inside.
Right.
Like, rose gold is beautiful. I love rose gold. Not many people will straight up wear a rose gold color watch. Not many. Especially with like the dial selections. I don't mind wearing a red strap or a rose gold, or, you know, I think it's beautiful.
Yeah.
So it's just an expression of me. And like I said, in the middle of the day, I might change it up to be, I'm feeling sporty right now, or I might want to go do some yard work, so I'll put on a tool watch. But I'm always going to wear a watch, and I'm always going to wear two.
Yeah. And it's, you know, it's kind of genius, man, because if you don't wear a watch, you're missing it. You know what I mean? It's not that like, oh, it like finishes the outfit. If you don't have a watch on, it's like missing your wedding ring. It's like the weight that it creates on your arm is something that you carry with you every single day. And if you're not wearing the watch, you're like, fuck, I forgot it. It's like
right
forgetting
away.
your watch at home.
Right away.
Or I mean, forgetting your phone at home.
I don't mean to fall asleep with my watches on, but I'll easily fall, because it just feels part of me anymore.
Yeah.
To the point where I don't even notice they're there. But the second it's not there, you notice it.
All
You get
day.
it right away.
All
right
day.
away. You can't even.
Saying it's something as little as like
Yeah, you got a lot of rings
the
on, man.
rings that I got, man. If I don't wear the rings, it's like I feel naked. Like I don't, you know, it's almost like a superhero with his cape on. You know what I mean?
It's my Clark Kent glasses.
Yeah, bro. That's the thing. Like that's how I feel about all these stupid jewelry and everything that I've got.
Don't ever say
man.
this. Don't ever say it's stupid
What's
jewelry
going-
again.
Right?
Don't ever say
I'll
that again.
apologize.
Yeah,
I'll apologize to myself.
Yeah, man. Come on now.
But you know, that's one of those things, man, where it's like, you know, I'm playing a character for the Native brand at this point. So it's like, you know, if I forget my eye patch at home, you know, I've got to wear sunglasses, because like these kids that come in,
They're used to that.
they're used to it, bro. And like a prime example, earlier today, like there's two kids that came in, and he was starstruck. He was just like, "Holy cow, you're here!" And he was
really?
like, yeah, he was like, I
Aw.
watched, and if he's up,
That's
in,
really
he's
cool,
in the
man.
movies right now. If they just got out, they were going to see the new Rami Malek. What's that dude's name? He's insane. I'll find his name in a second. But anyways, 2 10-year-old kids that were just in here, and they were just like, I can't believe that you guys actually work here.
You're
like,
an icon, bro.
Yeah, well, that's the thing, and it's like, but if I wasn't wearing the eye patch,
They wouldn't
recognize me. You know what I mean? And like, if I'm not wearing the jewelry, then I don't feel like I'm playing the part as Johnny Depp's pirate. You know what I mean? Like there was a moment in my life, dude, where I was getting upset with the amount of people that were just focused on this and not this. You know what I mean? Like they were just like, what happened? And they were just, I'm telling them the story, and they're just looking at me like, Jesus Christ. You know what I mean? But it got to a point where, you know, I would be at the grocery stores, and the kids would be like, Mom, look, there's a pirate. And you know,
turn around and be like, arr.
well, and that's the thing, bro, is like instead of it, you know, like I understand that kid completely.
Did you lean into it?
100%, bro. 100%. So like
Made that kid's day.
actually I did, bro.
Oh,
It was
man.
like so I went and I made little treasure maps. And so like I just went to Michael's 8.5 by 11 like burnt like craft paper, and then printed out a big like treasure map, ripped it into 9 pieces. So there was only like 9 business cards, but they were all ripped on the edges.
Did you burn
So-
it a little bit too, just to get that little
Burned on the
that's cool.
edges,
That's
and
cool.
then I hid a little code on it where the kids can get free stickers on the website. Because like I was noticing that there were so many parents that were embarrassed, like when their kids are going, Mom, there's a pirate, and the mom's
And
like,
you
Shh,
just you
stop,
made it
stop.
a normal thing, like,
Dude,
hey, don't even worry about Mom.
100%,
Your-
yeah,
your kid's
boom.
cool. That's
Like-
it's obvious. I accept his
His creativity, dude.
Yeah, this
That's
is all
the
about
thing.
being creative, people.
That's all that kid knows.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that kid knows that if
You're living-
somebody's wearing a pirate patch, he's a pirate.
You're that kid's like idol right now. You're like, oh my god, I just met her. He's telling all of his friends, I met some pirate at the grocery store.
And that's the thing, bro. So I would. It's a business card for a kid, right? It's except instead of having clean edges, they were ripped.
I want to make some kids
And,
watches now,
you know,
man.
Right? So and on like the back side was like an actual treasure map. So you saw like the really cheesy looking mountains and like the roads around it. Yeah, and on the other side it says, "Shh, I am a pirate, but don't tell anybody. Look for the code on the back of this."
See, man, like people like you are what this world needs. You know
Thank
what I
you,
mean?
bro.
Like, to be
Thank
honest
you.
with
You know what? It wasn't something that I asked to be a part of, right? Like it was like I could either adapt or die. Like it got to a point where I can either become this character for the brand, or I can let the injury of losing my eye and my ear. I could use it as a a woe me moment. And it's like there's 2 fucking paths to take, bro. And you know, no one's gonna slow the roll for you.
You trying to tell me to become a panda?
Hey, I'm not.
What are you saying here, man? Should I just start wearing black and white everything?
I don't know about going that far, but dude, like you've created something that is, first of all, like calling it Time Pandas, and then the relevancy of the panda movement just within the past 5 years. You know, you've got hip hop artists rapping about panda, and it's it's a whole correlation about black and white, and about like
You got Panda Express.
and then you've got the shoes, bro. Like I'm a sneakerhead. Like
Panda?
pandas were the biggest shoes in the past, like during the pandemic.
Hold on, did I miss something?
Yeah, it was they're the black and white Nike Dunks. So
And they call them the pandas?
the pandas.
Oh, man, how come I don't know about baby?
I'm so
Where's
surprised.
my wife at, bro?
Yeah. So it's just a normal. Here, I'll pull up.
You know I'm going to look into that. Come on now, man.
Yeah. So for like 2 years, bro, like the panda dunks were.
Oh,
were,
my God. I didn't even know there was a panda dunk. I am so out of the loop, bro.
So they were.
I'm too deep in the loop, if anybody gets that.
They were probably the most created
after.
shoe, not sought
okay.
after, but created. They just went.
Oh, I like those. That's
Yeah.
simple.
Simple.
That's a classic.
And that's the thing, bro. So they called these the Pandas, and they sold out, got back in stock, sold out, came back in stock, sold out, came back in stocks. What up, baby? I thought that was you coming in.
What's up? How you been, bro? I'm great, man. I'm great, man. How you doing, sir? Cam Taylor Britt. Nice to meet you.
You need some wine, bro?
No, not at all, man. Hey, just checking in on y'all, man.
Coming down for the movie?
Yeah, I had to go see that, man. It's a good little movie, though.
What'd you go see?
Sinners.
Oh, yeah.
So somebody
It's not,
really cool just walked up in here and interrupted our podcast, but that is okay because I'm over here enjoying it also.
That's fucking what's his name movie, right?
Michael B. Jordan.
Hold on. One more.
yeah.
One more.
Oh,
we
I
gotta
forgot to
get
put
the
my-
watches up in there, man.
Yeah, Cam, he makes
Don't
custom,
worry.
he
Hey,
makes
if you need
custom
watches,
watches,
let me
bro.
know. I make watches, bro.
I do need some more watches. We can chop it up. I'm most definitely custom.
Custom, full custom.
Look at me. I'm interrupting y'all's show, man.
Yeah, get on here, man. Here,
Get
sit
some
down.
content really quick,
Okay.
if you don't mind. Hey, y'all, how y'all doing?
Cam Taylor Britt saying he's interrupting the show. Let's go, bro.
That's what I'm saying.
Hey, just find me Time Panda Watches. Time Panda Watches.
Love it, man. Nice
Panda,
to meet you,
panda,
man.
panda.
Thanks for having me, man.
Panda.
Hey, we're gonna link up, man. Sal's got your number, right?
Yes,
I
sir.
got it too.
I'll-
Yeah.
All right, cool, dope.
So I'll be back. Y'all
Yeah,
let
we
me know.
sold out of those skateboards, man. Those Mars Blackman ones. I might be able to pull one out from the house for you.
Thank you. For sure, man. Y'all have a great one, man. Thank
God
y'all
bless,
again.
brother.
Have a good night, bro.
Well, ain't gonna complain about that.
Right?
That doesn't suck.
yeah, right? What a podcast.
Hella marketing, by the way.
Yeah.
Hey, do you like watches?
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Hey, look at them chrome heart pants he's wearing. Those pants he's wearing.
Yeah.
$7,000.
Really?
$7,000 for
So
those,
he
for
won't
those
mind.
pants.
He won't mind paying a little bit of money for a watch that actually does something, huh?
Bro, he's wearing
I'm
he's
just fucking-
wearing $7,000 pants.
That's cool. I got $10,000 underwear.
He is Cam's legit, man. I mean, he had one of the best picks of the season with one-handed.
Bro, that
I mean,
shit was
he is
incredible.
He's an incredible athlete, and we were just talking back in the lab because Jay's like, I think that's Cam, and so
Yeah.
they were here every Wednesday, but he explained his schedule. I asked him about it. I was like,
Did he just come and chop
what
it
was the
up?
deal with the schedule? I had to ask because okay, so every Wednesday on the levee they do Bengals Now during the season every single week, like first week all the way to the week 18. So every week they're doing Bengals Now except the bye week.
Copy.
So every other week, I didn't know when Cam was coming because they said Cam was the host, but then all of a sudden he wasn't there for random, and they're like, we don't know where Cam's at. Turns out that wasn't the case at all. He's like, they told us every other week when everyone said it was going to be every week. And he's like, it was just a weird communication thing, but we got it figured out. But they told us every single week Cam would be the host, and then each week would be a different Bengal with him.
They were hoping
okay,
that
okay.
the original was just they're going to have two Bengals players on, and then
I think Cam was the original host.
I don't-
The whole week, that's what I was told
really?
originally. And he
I
said they
wasn't
were
told that originally.
They told Cam was every single week, and he said they told him every other week, and then it kind of changed because we weren't sure what was happening. But then he just cleared it up for me. He said we got it all sorted out, but at first it was supposed to be every single week. Him and another Bengal they would bring on, and they would do that, but it changed pretty quickly. And then we talked about that he hadn't discovered the lab.
Oh, he hasn't seen it yet?
He hadn't seen it till today.
Damn.
That was his
So-
first time back there just
Yeah,
now?
that was his first time. But when he was here last time, it was a really quick interaction here because Bengals Now happens so fast. As soon as it's time to end, they do their signature little
And then they
period.
got like everyone's
rush
kind of
him out.
lingering around. Yeah.
Yeah, they had to rush him out. So he didn't get a chance to see the store. So we showed him, myself and John G gave him a little tour, and he talked about wanting to do a collaboration. He wants to work with us a lot. So we're very
He
happy.
seems like a pretty cool, like,
Yeah,
chin
for
down to
sure.
earth
He's
kind of
fire.
dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely great for the community. Everything
Cool.
about it, what
Cool,
he
cool,
does.
cool.
That
He's a-
smile, bro. That smile go a mile.
Yeah,
That smile go a mile.
He does have some.
Yeah, so you've got a little stash of
Of
gems over here. I
I
haven't-
wouldn't necessarily call them gems, but they're pieces that kind of mean something to me. If
All
that
right.
makes any sense. So we'll start with my first, I guess, piece as an adult. Right after I graduated and started my architectural career and really got into being in the corporate world, I had to buy a watch. So I bought my first watch, which was a Timex Weekender. It is a chronograph. It is a quartz watch, but I love this watch, and I don't care if it's only worth like $50, $60.
It looks classy, bro.
I treat
Yeah.
it like it's $1 million watch. I love this thing.
Beautiful.
It's just super. It's simple.
Yeah.
It's a simple little battery-operated quartz watch made by Timex, but it is a great watch.
Very nice. I love that.
So what's the one undercover watch that you can get for under $150 that is just a banger, just something that has great quality, great like guts. You know what I mean? Like, look, you're like this one right here, bro.
Oh, look at that. Oh.
Is that a
God tier? It's the Casio F91W.
1986.
It is worn by infamous and famous. If we all know who wore this watch, do you know who wore this watch infamously?
I have no clue, bro.
Better yet, you'll probably know if it was the black watch. Do you know who wore that watch infamously?
Spectre Gadget.
Osama bin Laden.
Oh, really?
That's the only branded thing he wore in any of his photos was that watch, as did a bunch of other presidents. And it's just it's their grail. It's a workhorse.
I'm
it's been around
obsessed with
forever.
this, bro.
Yeah. It comes
I'm
in all different
obsessed with
types of
this.
colors, and I'm just like, you know what? I'll throw a red strap on that one. I've got that in red strap. I've got that in a blue strap, black case, blue strap, black case, blue band. Like
bro, that right there.
That's my favorite piece. I wear that everywhere.
So, and I'm gonna take it back to probably 1996. Okay, I'm in high school.
$12. By the way, in case anybody wants that watch,
I want it.
You can get them at Walmart or on AliExpress, or not AliExpress, but on Amazon for like $12-15.
That's fire,
Yeah,
bro.
fire
It's just like
not
it's
that much
so
different than
80s.
this.
And the respect that you get in a room full of watch nerds, like everyone's like, oh, it's a $15 watch. Yeah, but anybody who knows that watch, somebody wearing a Rolex will respect you just as much wearing that Casio F91W as if you were wearing a Patek Philippe.
That's tight. So I was
part of the culture.
It was 1996, bro. I'm sitting in home ec, right? And this little nerdy guy from our school has a Casio watch.
Was it the calculator watch?
No,
Okay.
no.
You said
he
nerd. I was
he was
thinking he was doing math.
well. It was a digital watch, but he was able to turn the TV on. With his watch, and he fucked with all the teachers all the time, and I was so jealous, bro. He just had this little watch on, and he would just hit a couple buttons, and the TV in the corner
I
of the room
literally
would
just
pop on.
watched one of my favorite YouTubers talk about how he did the same thing with that watch and how he caused trouble inside his classrooms because of that watch.
So was that something like? Was this dude like a serious tech nerd that was able to break the algorithm, or
no, that watch was made to. It was
turned
a
the shit
universal
on.
remote. It was a universal
crazy,
remote built
dude.
into the watch. Yeah, absolutely. Casio has amazing watches. Everything from the G-Shock down to the F91W.
I love the G-Shocks,
The G-Shock,
bro.
that's god tier.
I had a lime green NERD nerd, like the Neptunes
Yep.
version, all lime green.
Did you say had past tense?
Yeah, stolen, bro. When all this happened, the eye, the ear,
I'll
all
tell you
that
what,
shit.
man. That's the only thing they were coming after.
Yeah,
That's what they
Right.
wanted. That's god tier.
yeah. I mean, but it's crazy because it's a $99 watch.
I know.
I think I paid $99 for it. It was all lime
Dude,
green.
they'll cut your arm off in London for a Casio.
Yeah,
If I'm wearing this, or if I'm wearing... Where'd it go?
I can't believe
Somebody
how,
else, did I just make it out of London? Where'd the motherfucking watch go?
I can't believe how popular G-Shocks got at that price.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? It might have been just the right timing, no pun intended, but you know, the fact that they were able to, since it's an all plastic watch, you can do an
Indestructible.
all green, you can do all red, you can do the fake diamonds on the
That,
bezel.
they've just been around so long. They're indestructible, so
It's just
they've
a mold, right?
They've never made it into the trash. You know what I mean? So
You can beat the shit out of it.
you can beat the shit out of it. But the reason they're so popular is because you couldn't throw it away. It always worked.
Right.
So
I don't even
old
think I
watches
ever
that would
changed the
just get
battery in it, to be
you know,
honest with
old
you.
watches that would get tossed away. they'd be forgotten about. Whereas like a G-Shock was always in the back of that junk drawer in your the top drawer in your desk.
Still has that
still
shape.
going, bro.
Yeah.
Still going. Got paint and scratches and nicks all over it, grass and dirt still embedded, but still ticking.
Oh yeah.
Man, great watches. Great watches.
So is that like one of the ones that you'd recommend to people, or
to
are you
get
going
in,
straight
to
for
get
that,
into
straight
it?
for that
All right,
Casio?
so the typical way into a watch, somebody will most likely start with a Casio, an F91W, and then they'll be like, oh, this is kind of cool, and then somebody will introduce them into wanting a mechanical watch. So they'll jump into the Seiko, that Japanese Seiko movement, which is kind of the movement that we use in our watch. And then somebody will introduce them into the world of, I don't know, they can finally save up all their money and finally get that Rolex or something like that. And then they've had enough of Rolex, and then they want to go into these micro brands that nobody knows about but are like up-and-comers. And then they go through all these different waves. Like your collector or somebody who's interested in watch will be all over the place, because once you get the bug for watches, and if you're doing it because you actually like the creative aspect behind being able to express yourself through whatever watch you're wearing, you'll be all over the place. I have cheap watches. I've got expensive watches. I've got Chinese watches that are cool because it says something quirky on the dial. And I've got a really expensive watch that seemingly it looks super simple, but it's got that name on it.
Wow,
There's nothing really special about it, but it's got a name. Something super special about it, but it's
Hey, you're back. How was the movie, bro?
Is this the guy you were talking about?
These are the guys I was talking about earlier.
Welcome back, guys. What's
How you
up?
boys doing today? Good, man. Good,
Here,
good,
man.
good.
Give me just 1 second, bro.
Here, go hang out with him, man. So right now on this podcast, oh, he's gonna get on here. Say what up. No, here. You good? All right, you go.
Yeah, we got the.
You want to talk on a pod? Go right behind him, and we'll get you on. We're gonna talk about that movie you just saw. All right.
Here you go, bud.
And then you can go on YouTube and you can watch this later, bro.
What
Cool.
was your name?
My name's Jackson. Y'all should follow me on TikTok and Instagram.
Oh, selfless.
Shout it out, bro.
Damn,
What is it?
All right,
Drop
my
it.
Instagram is temp_LE46.
That's
and,
temp_LE46 in case y'all didn't hear that.
And then my TikTok is radio_9946. It's based off my football.
I was gonna say, is 46 your football number?
Yeah.
All right, bro.
Cool.
Me and my buddy.
My name's Jason.
Jason, that's
Yep.
my name. What's up, bro?
What's up? And we just saw the new movie starring Rami Malek, The Amateur, and I rated it a 9.5 out of 10.
9.5 out of 10.
I
You
rated
rated
it
out
a
of
9.
69 out of 10.
9 out of 10. So it was definitely where he's such a good actor, dude.
Oh yeah.
He's such a good actor. Was
yeah,
it
he's a
was it
good
a scary movie? Like
No, it was not scary. There was a part in there when I just went, I jumped a
The
little.
reason I didn't rate it a 10 is because there was no, he had a chance to shoot a dude right, and he said to shoot him, and he didn't shoot him.
Oh man.
Movie magic, bro.
Like he doesn't have the skill of like an actual sharpman.
Oh, I got you.
Even a
Yeah, because he was just it was his wife that almost got
Yeah.
murdered or something, right?
yeah, his
I
wife
gotta go see
died.
this. I have no idea what you guys are talking about.
Yeah.
I haven't even seen previews
But
yet.
he's
It's
actually
good,
pretty,
bro.
he's-
Look, I'm surprised that these kids wanted to go see it. That's why I said Dad got lucky. Like he didn't have to go see Roblox or Minecraft.
Yeah,
He got to go see the
want
movie
some
he
mature
wanted to
movies,
see. Yeah.
oh yeah.
Awesome, man. All right, so you guys got the popcorn, you got the whole thing, got
Yeah,
your fix.
we got ices now.
Ices.
So-
I want an icy machine for the house.
Get
I
an
need
icy
one for the
machine for the
house.
store.
Oh, dude, that would be trouble.
Ices.
You
absolute
never get rid of
trouble.
me, bro.
Right,
Ices for like $3 or $5. That'd be sick.
dude, all day. And I'm an icy man.
Same.
Let's go.
Or
My
like
last name's Eisler. Let's go.
yeah. For Easter, our friend in our class, he got a milkshake. He got a milkshake, his third milkshake machine.
Oh wow,
So he
Yeah.
can make 3 milkshakes at once.
Jesus,
That's
A lot of milkshake.
That's power.
That
Oh,
kid,
yeah.
that kid's spoiled, bro. That kid is spoiled.
Well, I just got a C24 curved gaming monitor. Also,
Oh, a curve monitor. You game?
yeah.
What do you game?
I just play. I play Need for Speed Payback, Madden
Yes.
20,
I was
Yeah.
about to say,
There you
please
go.
tell me you're doing some driving, bro. Do you have,
Oh,
do you
yeah.
have a steering simulator and
No, I
everything?
don't.
You need
Not
to get
yet?
You need to get this man a Formula
know.
One simulator, brother.
And
Get into
I'm-
that Formula One, bro.
And I'm thinking, and I'm saving up my Easter money for a DCS setup,
What's a DCS setup?
digital combat simulator.
Oh wow,
with
bro.
The vibration and everything, the haptics and everything.
Oh yeah.
Oh man.
That's cool, man.
How much does that cost?
Oh heck no, that'd be terrible.
How much does one of those cost?
Usually, a good one, a pretty good one, is $3,000 to $5,000,
Oh wow, dude.
and some are usually, what's it called? Like the best of the best, like top of the line, like Thrustmaster and all those brands. Usually cost up to $10,000 to $15,000.
Holy cow, bro.
Like-
I tell you what, man. Give me
Get a watch for that
give me
price.
$150 a week, and I'll come over there and I'll shake you every time something happens on the screen. We'll make it happen, bro. We can get this
that's
DCS
cool.
happening right away.
That's
Yeah.
really funny.
But I play on PS5, and I usually play what's it called? I can't remember. I play Madden 25.
Like Fortnite, any of
Fortnite,
those?
yeah, I play Fortnite. What's that one? Ace Combat 7. Sky's
Okay.
Unlimited.
Yeah.
It's a PS4 game.
I'm out of video games, bro. I haven't touched video games in forever. Like, he's talking gibberish to me right now.
Yeah.
I play Rainbow Six Siege.
Okay.
I used to play COD, but I put it on my hard drive.
COD, Call of Duty.
There you go, bro.
Okay, I'm
See,
on it, I'm
now
on
you
it.
tap back in. You get it.
But I had like 300 gigabytes worth of COD on there.
Gigabyte?
Holy
Is that
cow.
like a reference of
Like
memory
the
storage?
big-
Yeah.
I'm joking.
That's like the second biggest one.
That's crazy. And that's the worst part about the PlayStations, man. It's like, you
You only get 1 terabyte. And,
yeah,
like,
1 terabyte, and it's like you play
and
one
if you
game,
buy,
and it
like,
takes
the
500
deluxe,
500 gigs.
if you buy the deluxe add-on games, like where you put in the code,
Oh yeah, the
where
more
you put in the
characters.
code and then stuff, yeah, and you get free characters. It takes up like Call of Duty. It takes up 292.16 gigabytes.
Do you
That's
like
crazy.
computers?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I can
yeah.
tell. That's cool. Hey,
Thanks.
put this kid into computer school. Seriously, he's over here talking like he's gonna make a lot of money in networking or computers or something
Right.
like that.
At school, he's literally the tech guy. If the teacher needs help on the
Okay, yeah.
There you
He's
go.
already on it. He's
I
already the
help.
tech guy.
Yeah.
All right, we're gonna need your help over here when we start working out some of these electrical errors we got in the store.
Yeah.
Absolutely, man.
All right, man. Well, Jackson and Jason, right?
Thank you guys.
It was
Chasin.
Chasin. Oh, that's not my name.
Like they be
CH.
chasing you down the street.
Yeah.
I like that, dude.
The ladies
like
be
that.
chasing. Right? Yeah, what's your name? My name be Ladies Be Chasing. Like ladies love Cool J. Nah, chasing
yeah.
is much better.
Oh yeah.
All right, man. I appreciate you coming back in, letting us know how the movie was,
Oh
gentlemen.
yeah, it was amazing.
I'm gonna have to go check it out with the wife
Hey.
now.
Take care.
Appreciate you, brother. You got a good group of kids here,
Right.
man.
See y'all later.
God bless.
All right, man.
Well, that's cool.
Yeah, bro. Yeah, we were talking about him earlier on the podcast too. That's the best part.
So that's the
Pops
little
back
man you were
in.
talking about coming to see the movie?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Came in. He's like, I didn't know you guys work here.
Oh, that's
too.
right. They were surprised to actually see you here.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
cool.
yeah.
That's
And the thing is, we were just talking about dropping another like kids line, young adult line that doesn't quite hit the high school, but kind of like that middle school gap area.
Trash pail, trash. What is it? Garbage pail kids.
Garbage pail kids. Yeah.
Bro.
Last night, did you see me tag you in Garbage Pail Kids?
Oh wait,
Yeah.
seriously, y'all
Yeah.
seriously be tagging people? Like those are my favorite.
Well, we spent a lot of time as of recently, last couple months, on Whatnot app. So Whatnot app is a interactive selling app where people can touch base with the fans in live time, video, so you can see them. You can see they put cards up to sell or collectibles, streetwear. There's so many different things you can sell on Whatnot. We really kind of dive into the V Friends community with Gary Vaynerchuk. We really love that community because it's so hands-on, and there's only probably like 1,000 or less of people that are really involved on Whatnot. So it's really
I didn't
it's
realize
really,
it's that small of a community on Whatnot right now.
In like the average community, yeah, it's a small communities, lots of them,
Yeah,
but like
small communities.
but small communities of 1,000 or less. Like I
In
was
each
in a
niche.
yeah, I was in a
Okay.
Star Wars community, and it didn't hit more than 500 people, and they're going for really high level cards.
Wow.
So it's really cool to see. It's at this early stages. I wouldn't call it infancy stage, but I definitely
It's
call
earlier
it.
at
It definitely
this point.
call
It's
it
past
earlier
infancy at this point,
yeah,
right.
for sure. But it's a niche market where 1,000 people, you can know half their names. You can know usernames. You can know what they do, what they're interested in. You can know their favorite character, and you don't know this person because they're across the country in Florida right now. You
That's
know what I
cool.
mean? So
That's nice.
I really love the community. I'm kind of thinking about ways for us to use Beyond the Stage and whatnot, because we live stream all of our events. I'd love to. There's a tipping feature on there, so I'd love maybe a Beyond the Stage show. We do a tipping feature so they can tip the show, perhaps something
That'd be
like that.
interesting to see how you pull that together.
I'm gonna work on it. I'm thinking on it, but it's just like that community is so cool because everyone in it is so they're getting to know me. They're asking how my name is pronounced, like, and I know that's a big thing for me. But I mention Eisler, and they're like, I saw you posted. Can you pronounce it again for me? Like people remember me saying it once, so they know it was a point of emphasis that I put. You know what I mean? And it's not even a point of emphasis for me as much as it is for me to know when they're communicating with me, they can visualize me better if they know how to pronounce my name. It's less about me hearing it, more about how they perspective for me. So
That's
in the
a good way of looking at it.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely,
So because I learned in college that college professors read it and like Andrew Eiler, like it's an island, and I'm like, it's not an island.
The
IS is the S is silent, you know, and like it's like no, it's Eisler, it's German, yada yada. But like that changes their perception of me from how they communicate with me. So I've really taken that on, and the community really took that as something, though a bigger deal for me and maybe not bigger deal for them. They have actually actively used it. They don't mispronounce my name. We had a little joke of like the Wise because it looks like Andre Wise, like my name's Andre and then Wise.
Yeah.
W goes in.
I know that
it's
when
one.
right the next to it.
Because it's right
yeah.
next to each other on the way I put my username
I couldn't
in.
put it together at first because I was like, what? Oh, that's
Yeah,
okay, I got it.
But they were really good about like being corrected and being. It's just that small detail I really noticed. It didn't have to be a big deal about it. It didn't have to be, or it could have been. They were like they could have ignored my message, but like, oh, I want to pronounce it correctly. Andrew Eisler. Shout out Andrew Eisler. Yeah.
See, when people
And
take
that's
the
cool.
time to understand those things, you know that those are your people. You know
Right.
that there's actually a connection there. This isn't just a superficial meet and greet. This is somebody who's actually wanting to get to know me a little bit more. And I find that, quite often with Time Panda, people are asking, hey, where did you come from? What's the story behind this? Because everybody, a lot of these brands want a story behind the brand. And, I don't have this really big elaborate story behind Time Panda itself. But if you want like a cool story about where I came from and what led me to Time Panda and what emphasized me to be doing it the way I'm doing it, like any Joe Schmo off the street can go build a watch. We've already gone over this.
Right.
But what I'm trying to do is just different and make it more of a one-on-one personal interaction with that person and let them feel more of the brand and bring them in more, kind of like, hey, let me get to know how this person says their name a little bit more and show that I'm not just writing down, hey, the price is this and they'll pay me on Thursday. No,
Yeah,
I want to know
yeah.
a little bit more about them. Hey, do you have a kid? Cool. Well, maybe do you want their name? When's their birthday? Is this watch important to that? I have one guy hit me up. He's like, yeah, this watch, I'm getting it for the birth of my daughter. Well, I do engraving. No way. Yeah. Would you like me to go ahead and engrave your daughter's birth date on the back of that? You can do that? Yeah. Not a problem.
Yeah.
And that's
amazing.
Dude, the fact that
I would love that.
you stopped and you recognized that I just had a kid and I was just getting it for and you said, hey, why don't we do one more thing? You actually listened to me. That made him a repeat client now, and he's gotten 3 watches off me because I know the name of his kid, I know his wife, I know what he does for a living, I know where he went last weekend. We have these conversations. So it winds up being rather beneficial to make those personal connections with your people. Absolutely.
Yeah, I think that's the best part about what you just said is I really appreciate someone taking the time to get to know me, but when they ask if I have kids, like, oh, what's your child's name, girl or boy? I'm like, I have a girl, Charlie, and before I had her, the only birthday I really was concerned about was mine, July 20th, and then my mother's is June 20th, and and those birthdays stick out to me. But now I care less about my birthday, and I of course care about my mom's, but my daughter's birthday on August 30th has now taken precedence. So that 8:30 is way more meaningful than my own birthday, and I don't understand why, but it is just the reality of it.
It's the same with my wedding anniversary. That's a date that I'll never forget. There's a long story behind that. One day, if anybody ever wants to hit me up and ask about that story, it's pretty interesting. And if you know me and my wife, it's rather it hits a lot of very sensitive points, but it is also a day that I'll never forget. So if I could ever get that on the back of one of my watches, I'm definitely going to get that engraved, but I'm not going to put it on the back of any watch. I want it to mean something to both of us. So
yeah. So and when was that date?
Oh gosh, no, I'm kidding.
I got
No, 5/15.
5/15. Okay.
Just recent, actually.
Oh.
I'm sorry, 4/15. Sorry, 4/15. Yeah.
It just happened.
Just happened.
Yeah. So that date before that 4/15 had
No significance, no whatsoever. 4/20 was pretty cool.
Sure,
That was up and coming, but nothing else outside of that.
and give your wife a shout out.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
by the way,
shoot them a text,
Olga,
we'll get you on the podcast.
I love you. Wherever you are, she's out running around here with a camera somewhere. She's been
Yeah.
doing our BTS. She's pretty awesome. She's from Ukraine. She's also a video producer and video editor and photographer.
So,
appreciate you, bro.
so she's the one that does all the amazing video edits and stuff on Time Panda.
Both of us do.
Okay.
But yes, predominantly her right now because
mean,
I'm
it's-
trying to focus on the business building and the building of watches. So I'll be in the office and I'll be putting a watch together, and she'll be running around getting the footage of me putting that watch together, and we both put an edit together and get it out there.
I mean, it's crazy because that's two businesses in its own, man. Like the quality that you're putting out is like bar none. It should
Thank
be
you. I
represented on
appreciate
its own, and the video content that you guys are putting out is like bar none incredible. So the
I
fact
appreciate
that like both of that is done in house is just it's a
by him
powerhouse
and
duo,
her, by her,
man.
and, by her and me. That's it. It's just us. For instance, we're going to do a project tomorrow. So we have the two businesses. We have the video production and we have the watches. We were both running video production, and when I don't want to say stepped away, but when I took on the watches, it was scary for me. I'd been building into the videography and building up that whole business for such a long time. That was my baby for a very, very, very long time. And now going into these watches, I can honestly say I'm blessed to have my wife because she's also very much into videography and production. And now when I'm stepped away focusing on watches and trying to build more of a legacy and bring, just a living for our family. Like, guys, just so you know, these watches is just not for me to get rich or anything like this. You're literally putting food on people's plates when you're supporting a family. So it's been really nice to be able to do this and be growing this and watching it mature, knowing that somebody as capable and skilled and just amazing as such as my wife, Olga, is taking care of our other child.
Right.
So it's really cool.
I mean, there's strength in numbers, bro, for sure. You know, and for her to see your vision and be like, hey, let's amplify this, and for you to see her vision and say, hey, we can amplify yours by, you filming what I do, and like it's such a good partnership, bro.
And
the qualities and like it looks like every single video that you put out has been paid for, which is the best part.
It has been paid for. It's called time and sweat. And
Hell yeah,
tears
bro.
and
Sweat equity.
Sweat equity, brother. I paid for all of that. Paid for it. I don't want to look at things. I didn't sacrifice anything, but I invested everything. I don't like when people are like, oh, it's a sacrifice. Oh, it's a sacrifice. No, you're not sacrificing anything. You're investing into something that's going to be far bigger because, like I said, I want to leave a legacy. After I die, I would love for this to still be going and then somebody to take my idea, even if I wasn't able to accomplish the factory with a desk with a camera on every desk. Somebody will say, hey, he wanted this and we want to continue that and make that happen. I would love to see that happen, and I want to leave a legacy. And more importantly, at the end of the day, I'm putting food on our tables, but I want to put food on other people's tables. I want to have employees. I want to know about Tom and his wife and Tim, little Tim that they just had. I'm thinking of Tiny Tim from the Christmas Carol. But
it's all relative, bro.
Yeah, I want to hear about
Yeah.
I want to know he had his baseball game today, and I was able to go buy a baseball bat, and I want to know hey, guess what? We gave him the job that was able to provide for his family and do that's. I'm not doing this for me. It's nice for provision, but for me, a byproduct of putting good things out into the world and being a good person is provision. You put good out into the world, good is going to come back to you.
100%, man. And prime example is Jackson and Chasen that just came in, man. We, I first time I met the guys today. Huge fans of the brand, and they've been supporting, and Chasen and Jackson both said we watch the podcast, bro. I'll show you that I follow you guys, which is incredible on its own, because when we're sitting here at the table, we're in a conversation about friends, you know what I mean? And so we don't realize that there's there's kids that are tapping in and listening to everything that we say, you know what I mean? So, and when these kids come in, me, Andrew, and Tyrell, we all have this very good understanding of these kids they're not coming in to buy clothes. They're coming in to
meet the characters,
to meet the characters, people, and just to be here. And there was a store that Andrew loved that he used to go to when he was a kid. That he knew he wasn't buying any clothes, but he just wanted to be a part of the culture. He just wanted to be down there.
I had a store like that as a kid.
We all did, bro. We all did, and it's at 20 years later, now we're here, and we want people to come in and buy clothes, right? But that's not the purpose. It's make sure that we tap in and have a relationship with these kids, where when Jackson comes back, we're gonna remember Jackson's name, and that's that's the best part about my staff, bro. Is
I've noticed that about your staff.
Dude, and Andrew and Tyrell, the second that these kids come in, they remember their names. There was a moment where this kid came in and
a lot of kids.
Bro, Trick love the kids. That's one of my favorite lines, bro.
Kids.
And that was actually from a John Mayer interview.
Really?
Of all
Trick
things.
love the kids?
So yeah,
Really?
So when it was a John Mayer interview, John Mayer tried to do this. John Mayer's on tour. John Mayer's got a TV show, and it was completely hacked, where it was only a small banner in the background, and then a fold-out table, fold-out chair, and John Mayer's interviews with John Mayer. You know what I mean? And he's in Nashville with Trick Daddy, and he's talking about how Trick Daddy wants to open up a daycare.
So it came from that interview.
It came from that interview, bro.
Kids.
So Trick was he's look, man, there's a lot of young baby mamas that want to go out to the club, and they still want to go and do their thing. And Trick was I want to have my own daycare, from 10 p.m. to 7 in the morning, 8 in the morning.
So mamas could go out and be
that was that's where that whole thing came from, bro. And so he was
I had no idea about that.
And so
that's
John
cool.
Mayer was Trick love the kids.
That's what. So that right there just resonated.
It is,
with
bro.
me.
It is such a good low budget interview. The whole thing about it was so bootstrapped. It was video cameras.
Well, Panda loved
the
kids.
Yeah.
Panda loved the kids.
Yeah. But that's the thing, bro. It's we've gotta tap into these kids, because they come in and we don't realize that they're paying attention to everything that we're doing.
They're everything that we're doing, and they're going to imitate it.
Yeah. But that's the thing is as soon as that kid gets a job, he's going to come back in that same hat that he's been staring at, the same shirt that he's been staring at.
Yeah.
He's finally going to be able to get to buy it himself, bro. And like I was saying earlier, there was a kid that came in who he wanted a shirt, and he had his own money for it, and he bought the shirt and then tipped us. And his mom goes,
"That's not how it's done.
Did he just tip you?" And he just gave us $1, and we were like, "Yeah." It was he has never done that before in his entire life.
That's appreciation.
And so we had him sign the $1, and then we put it on the inside of one of the lights over there. And then the kid came back 6 months later, and he was like, "Do you remember me?" And Andrew was like,
kidding me, kid?
What did you remember his name?
Nathan.
Nathan. Boom.
Even right
See?
now, still. Wow.
See, and that's the thing, bro. That's the thing.
My
That's how
man.
that's how this crew works, bro.
That's how
like
my,
like
that's
where
how my
where-
memory,
where-
that's how
where
my
I-
memory works.
That-
where I-
kinda speaks
where,
to me,
where
man.
I fall
remember
off,
everything.
they pick up every single time.
I remember
bro.
everything though, so that's just my trait.
The thing that
I remember like people. I like it's just the way because in my mind I prioritize things because at the end of the day, if I remember all the details, then I can make the most of these connections that I'm making and connecting the dots. So
I hate
whether it's
remembering little
native
things
or
like
Beyond
that,
the
but yeah.
Stage or Madison Theater or multimedia, anything, it's about remembering because those details really make all the difference.
Do you find yourself remembering little things about something or somebody?
he always picks up where I like if I have a brain fart and I'm like I don't remember what I'm talking about. Like he'll jog it. He'll be like, "You were talking about this." Like every single time. Like that's one of
Those little details.
That's one of the underestimated values that you carry, bro. Is the fact that you listen to everything that's being said. You know what I mean? Like even if your head's in the phone, even if your neck's turned one way, you're always dialed in and you always understand what's happening. And every single time that I have a brain fart or I'm like, damn, I can't remember what I was saying, you're like, you were saying this, boom, like that. And it's just like, I wish I had that recall memory still, bro. And I do when I take those Focus Plus pills.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Those give me.
But I can't go to sleep.
Yeah,
I'm
they
just-
they messed my sleep up too.
Hold
That's
on,
why I didn't
what?
take them.
Yeah.
I stopped because my sleep
These
gets all
there's
weird.
these things.
Talk to me, Goose.
They're
Yeah.
called
Yeah, they're
called
weird.
Focus Plus. Talk to me, Goose.
Talk to me.
The
I love
Focus
that. I love
Plus
that.
pills. So Joe Rogan talks about this thing called
okay.
called neurotropics. So
Neurotropics,
he's
yep.
got Alpha Brain, which
Uh-huh.
is like $1.25 a pill. I did a ton of research. I found a company that's got the like, if not better ratings than Alpha Brain, for less than $0.25 a pill.
Really?
Yeah, and I mean when you take it, it really does help with your ums and your ahs and like your cognitive fog that you have. When you take it, it's just like
You're on fire.
yeah, bro.
All the neurons are
you're
firing.
just spitting fire. Yeah, it's crazy. I've got some here, man. I'll give you a couple.
I'm gonna try that because I'm pretty freaking smart.
When
I
you-
can't imagine what would happen if I took some of that shit. Solve all the world problems.
if you took one before you started dialing in, again, no pun intended, on a watch. You see where I'm coming out with these puns?
I'm loving these little puns.
Yeah, it's that
It's
red
pretty
wine.
funny, bro.
That red wine's flowing. But it's one of those things where, like if you take it beforehand, you're just focused. And so for a while there, like I was taking it before the podcast because it was like,
The ums and the ahs.
yeah,
get-
dude, I was just
yep.
like super quick at responsing and everything. But I would get home and I wouldn't be able to get to bed till 2:00 in the morning, like that
Can't
with the
have that.
alcohol. Yeah,
Okay.
so it's like, all right, but but it really does a great job. Like an 8-hour, like I need to take it at like 4.
So if you take it first thing in the morning, for instance, you would have a pretty productive work day. If you
I
were a
don't
9 to 5
know.
kind of a person.
I don't think there's a crash on it, but I don't feel like there's a crash like a Red Bull energy
I'm
drink.
gonna have to
or
give that a
something
whirl.
Like that.
I like being focused. The only thing is, being involved in watches. Like I said, I'm a pretty quick
You
kind of
don't,
person.
yeah, you don't want to be fucking jittery or anything like that either.
I use the watches as that pill. Because
Slow the heart rate down,
it
the whole
slows
nine.
everything down.
I
and
know what you're
become
saying.
hella focused. And it's funny if I come from building a watch into having to do another focused task. That focused task, I'm excelling because I'm coming out of that already super hyper focused mode.
Yeah.
That I'm able to stay in that hyper focused mode. So, ask my wife. I'll wake up at 4:00, 4:30 in the morning. I'll go to my studio, be in the studio by 5:30, and get straight into building a watch, and use that building of that watch as my wake up time, my settle down time, and be able
That's good. I'm
to
good.
calm down a little bit and get into that focus rhythm. And then from building a watch, I'll go into my morning habits like checking emails, going through sending out emails, responding, writing proposals, which is just another hyper-focused thing to do. And then as that hyper-focus wears off, 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock comes around, and then I have a thing called my power list. So I have a list of 5 important things that I need to do every day, and that list changes until it becomes a habit, and then I no longer need to put it on that list. But it's 5
Genius.
things. The 5 things that I need to do.
I do the same thing.
Repetition is
to
dope.
I do the same
accomplish
thing, yeah.
my goal, and each thing has to be towards a bigger. I don't want to see do laundry. I don't want to see make breakfast. I don't want to see go to bed early unless it's something that you have a problem doing. Like today, I'm going to go to bed early. Okay, do you have a problem doing it? Yes, go to bed early. When it becomes a habit, remove it from the list, add something else that is a problem but is going. So for me, check emails, contact clients that we worked with. Hey, how's your watch? Any questions? Do you have any little things like this on my list? And I always tell myself that if I can build that watch, tackle my 5 things that are crucial to my personal growth as well as the growth of my business. I learned this from Andy Frisella, by the way, if any of you guys listen to him. First Form, huge powerless 75 hard. Look it up.
I love
Yeah,
it.
shout
I love
out.
it.
Nice.
So, if you accomplish those things, which are going to be productive for personal growth and business health or business growth, by 11 o'clock, you essentially have the rest of the day to fuck off and do whatever you want because you did what you needed to do to grow, and now you can accomplish the things that aren't maybe so important.
Yeah.
So,
And I love where your head's at. I'm very well. Let's say lists are crucial to my day to day. So I make a list before.
you have notebooks?
I use my
Okay.
phone
Okay.
list actually.
I'm a hand to paper kind of guy. I can't do anything other than
I
Gotcha.
mean, on this folders alone, I'm like 1,988
folders.
notes in my. This
Notes in
this
the
one
folder.
folder.
Okay,
I
gotcha.
got 14.
I'm like, Jesus
I have,
Christ, that's a lot
I
of
have 5
folders.
folders, and the average has, a decent amount. But this is 1,988 notes, which includes, bills and stuff.
Yep.
It includes everything.
It's important stuff.
Yeah. So it's important stuff, but it does. I have everything highlighted to where, like, if native importance, be on the stage importance, photo importance, family importance, stuff
Wow,
like that.
good
Like,
for you.
and I've been living on lists. 10 years at least. But
That's awesome.
It's really important for it because in my mind, like, there's so many different dynamics that I have to touch base on all the time, and I'm always going to another situation where someone needs 100% of me, and then 100% here, 100% there. Like I always say, like my biggest thing is, understanding how much time I have available. It's funny we're talking about, but how much time is available.
important.
But like when I'm in the room with them, regardless of how long I'm there and what time I do get in that room, I'm gonna go hard, 100%. We're gonna get the most out of that moment, and we're gonna move on to the next one. I'm balancing.
And and in order to be able to do that, you need to have a list,
Yeah.
and you need to have those things written down because it can very easily, in the midst of that awesome creative session that you're having, lose focus of the next thing
the
you're
next
going to
thing.
have to
Right.
do.
And when we start to need a little bit of a follow up, we go, all right, let's go back to the notes. I might take the notes right out of the shower because I thought of it in the shower, and I'll go like, all right, we need to talk about our next plan for our next pop up, or our next plan for our next clothing design, or the next plan for the next show, or the next interview, or whatever the case may be. And I recognize that notes are a direct correlation to success.
If you can almost direct, did I take good notes? Did I come up with a good plan on paper? And then did this succeed? Yes, I took good notes.
Yeah.
No, I didn't do enough.
Exactly. I didn't do my due diligence. And the due diligence is what I'm speaking on, because I really believe that at the end of the day, we are creating our own reality. And in those notes, these are the infrastructure
It's
of which
the schematics for your reality.
Exactly. So I'm setting up things, and I'll go back and I'll be like, what was I thinking on my birthday? Because my birthday was when I was probably
that's
coming
good.
up. I go back to significant days, right? So then I'm like, what was I thinking on there? So I go back to my notes and I'm like, oh, this was super important on my birthday, and I haven't touched base since July on that. Maybe I should really touch base, because on my birthday, so many things are happening, but I'm also hyper focused on what I want to do because it's your day. So you always want to go where the most attention needs to be had. Attention is the most valuable asset. Gary Vee will tell you
I think
about that.
you and I need to have a few more conversations outside of this podcast because I like the way your brain thinks. So I'm a tactile person. So yes, as long as you're making a list, cool. I can't do it on a phone. I can't.
Yeah,
I'm
in that era, bro. I'm in that era where I can handle
yeah,
that.
that's right. We're
just a little bit,
a few years apart.
Yeah,
I'm a very pen to paper kind of guy,
Cool.
and I'm a very tactile kind of person. I like sketching, so I kicked ass in Pictionary. Everybody in my family wanted to be Pictionary because I can't explain things very well verbally. And most of the time, like my wife always like I'm trying to explain something. I'm like, oh, just give me a pen and paper because I can draw it easier than I can explain it. So most of my books. Most of my notes, yes, there'll be some notes and little things like that, but there'll also be like little sketches and little reminder things and little doodles to help me remember something that I was thinking at that moment. And I have 3 different books. I have my red graph notebook. This stays at my desk. This is every morning I go in, I write the day, the date, my power list, and then any little conversations that I have and the time associated with it, little side notes that go with it. That's my work, and just dump information.
Yeah, dump information. Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
And then I have a nice leather-bound soft. This has my habit tracker monthly, and then very important things like something important that we discussed, or a very epiphany I might have had, or a very deep conversation that I had that made me think. That goes into this book, and that is dated from when that book starts and when that book ends. And when that book is finished, I'll put it on a shelf. So like you, I have an archive of important things and days. Hey, what did I do back on this day? So this way, much like my watch and the legacy that I want to leave behind, I would love for my grandkids. What did Grandpa do on the first day of his Time Panda? Well, here's the what. Like,
oh yeah.
So that book is a little bit more organized and a little bit more intentional. Like a note that she might have sent or packed in my lunchbox when I went on a long trip or something like this that I found, and she packs notes like messages for me to find and little things while I'm on a trip or something like this. I love it.
That's cool.
But that'll slip into there. And then I have my field notes books. This just stays in my pocket. It's just like little just jot down notes and somebody's phone number, a doodle, a sketch. So notes, important, keeping track, time. It's valuable.
It is valuable.
Cherish it. We only have a limited amount of it. It's finite.
It's finite,
the one asset that you cannot replenish, replace, do anything other than give is time.
I kind of I kind of think of it like, if we're getting a visual, I'm not here to cut corners. I'm just here to hit them sharp.
Ooh.
So at the end of the day, like, what my notes will allow me to do it fast,
right,
so I don't have to waste time on the instrument, like the small stuff. Like you said, like the stuff that becomes routine, it's no longer on the list anymore.
No, it comes off.
Other than my grocery list, so I can asterisk.
Well, that's just so you don't forget.
Exactly. So but I don't leave the store without cookies, right? So but I really want to go fast, but I don't want to cut corners. I hate cutting corners. It's like my biggest pet peeve is cutting corners on any front.
So that's kind of like what that list does. It's like I did A, B, C, D. Okay, done. Next corner.
Yes, go.
It's I can kind of trim this off and not do it. No, I have to do it. Then I can make the turn.
Yes, right.
Love it.
I love that. I just really want it to all, when the time is right for me to show off what I have to someone to the level of which I'm trying to achieve. I want everything in a row. I want to be ready to go, so that they are not asking questions like, how are you going to do this when we need this en masse production? Then even if it's just something small, minute, I just want to be in the regular cycle, because I'm in a creative industry, and it takes people who believe in creatives to go to the next level, because whether it takes, liquid, like money capital, or it takes a belief in credit line, or whatever the case may be, it takes stuff to go further. You can't just do it on a whim, because it's a hard industry. We aren't worried about someone being an accountant where everyone needs that at a certain time of the year. This is something no one needs. They just want it, because humans live lives of routine, and art breaks routine.
And also, I look at it as Oya pointed this out to me. Some people need normality.
Sure.
And in times of stress, in times of, for instance, what Oya just went through with the war in Ukraine, she literally left the war in Ukraine as it was going on,
Oh, wow.
And she was telling me, like, some people, they probably shouldn't be buying a luxury good in time of a war, or they shouldn't be dressing in this beautiful dress or wearing all these nice extravagant things. But guess what? Those nice extravagant things are making that person in this horrible time
Forget about it.
feel freaking normal.
Yeah.
Like, I get that. So, like, luxury goods, I don't see them going anywhere because people who can't afford them are still going to buy them. Because even if it's not a luxury good, just something that makes you like a watch. Okay, it's a luxury good, but I don't think of it as a luxury good as much as I think of it as something. It's like a little safety blanket for me. It's a part of me that I can look at and be like, yeah, that's me, and I'm wearing it. I feel I'm covered up. I got the other part of me there. So I don't look at it as like a luxury good. I look at it as a that's my normal. I feel normal again. I can. A war's going on around me. I just lost my job. My mom died. My dad died. But man, here's this one thing that reconnects me to what makes me feel normal again.
Yeah.
That's what I want to deliver. That one thing that makes them feel themselves again and able to express themselves.
So, with transition as we're starting to get ready to, we got
Wrap
about a
up
little
here,
bit. Yeah, we got a little bit to go. But how do you, when you're taking on a client or taking on someone that you're trying to piece up the perfect watch, what kind of questions do you ask them to make them have that same feeling when they put the watch on? What are you looking for? Like when we were to sit down and talk about Beyond the Stage watch, like what kind of questions are you looking to ask?
That's really a good question.
You know?
That's really a good question.
What are you asking?
I don't know if I'm actually looking for something more than a conversation.
Okay.
You
Like
can
what we're doing right now.
Right. You can find a lot about in a conversation. I don't want to probe and ask questions like, what's your favorite color?
Yeah.
Right.
What's your favorite geometric shape? Do you like Arabic numbers or Roman numerals? No. I want to...
Okay.
tell, what kind of music you listen to?
Oh, okay.
Okay? Like,
What kind of music?
okay,
Music
you got a comedian?
comedian. Ah.
You like cars? Little things like this.
That's good quiz.
Talk to me about your family. Oh yeah, what do you do for a living? Oh, you're an engineer. Cool. Little things like this, and this, I like to think of myself as being pretty in tune to people, and getting a good beat and read on people, and I can, I'll even go on their Instagram and I'll poke around a little bit and see a little bit of the lifestyle, maybe even look at some of the things that the watches they have in their collection if they already have any. But most of the time,
Hilarious Scales
Hilarious Scales here.
saying he loves everybody. I didn't mean to interrupt.
No, bro.
But he
that's
says he
totally
loves
about it, man. That's awesome. I love you, Scales.
Yes, sir.
It's been awesome. By the way, I just did a custom piece for Scales. It's cool. Like I don't know. I don't remember how I ran into him. I know he's been doing this for some years now, and he just recently got really hot on the scene and blah 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 blah. I saw one of his videos and I fell in love with it. Hilarious. Literally.
Connected so easily for me. Yeah.
Right away. And then he did this one piece where he did something with another
Meg Robb
comedian
back.
where he's like, hey, work together, people, blah, 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 blah. And I was like, man, it's real. Like, I can relate with this. I was like, let me hit him up. I noticed he's wearing either no watch or an Apple Watch. Now, if you got an Apple Watch, I'm not hating on you. But I also expect that you maybe own a mechanical watch or even a quartz watch. But just something other than a distraction on your wrist. Oh, wait, I mean an Apple Watch. So, yeah, because that's all. Like, I use it to tell time and show who I am. But most of the time, I don't use it to tell time. I have my phone. But the only reason I don't like pulling my phone out of my pocket is because the second I pull my phone out of my pocket, I'm seeing all the different notifications that came through that I've been trying to ignore, and now I'm swiping for the next 15 minutes reading, and I don't want to be catching up on that. So having a wrist on my watch, I can tell the time and not have to be distracted by
That's
the phone in my pocket.
that's another good sales point, bro. That's another good sales pitch.
Matter of fact, real quick, biohack. A lot of these people who are all about getting rid of that digital lifestyle and trying to detach are going into the mechanical watches because there's no information other than what you're looking at it for, which is the time.
Yeah, I mean that was the one thing with the iWatch, man. When I had it, I ended up breaking mine trying to swap out my wife's tire.
Uh-huh.
So I ended up cracking the face on it, but I mean, every single alert that you get on your phone, it's now on your watch.
It's just a distraction.
It's 100% distraction.
And I can't imagine, my kid wearing that 30 years from now.
Right.
Just throwing that out there. I want to hand down a watch and let him hand that down to his kid, and that thing's probably not going to work.
So cool,
it's going to be so outdated.
Yeah.
I mean, it was definitely cool when it was that kid in 1996 that was able to turn the TV on and off with it, right?
Casio, yeah.
But now that everyone has it and everyone can just text and call and talk and
it's too much.
and all the nine, it's like there's a good and a bad for it, right? Like
there's definitely a use for it. Absolutely.
But the whole point of a watch was, like I said, like you were with Cam Taylor Britt.
Oh
earlier.
yeah.
But I had a buddy in Chicago that his name's Dave Campbell. Always been like top of the food chain. Like I've always looked up to him. He's always had dope watches, and whenever he has a watch on, he's like, "Look, bro, I wear the watch so that." Not that I know what time it is, it's so that you know what time it is.
Best comment. Best.
Love that.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I like that a lot.
And every time he said that, like he was also the same dude that told me life was all about walking in between the raindrops. And when he said that, I was like, "You are a fucking genius, bro." You know what I mean? Because like
mental ninja.
Like it is, bro. Because like
appreciate you all.
We're
really, live right now.
You really think about the time where
they take some photos.
It's like,
yeah, we're live right now.
You can check it out if you want.
Did you go back there? It's open.
You can just step right on that X.
Oh, he gone.
She's like, she gonna check it out.
But both completely different ways.
Yeah.
He's gonna play cornhole.
But I forgot what I was talking about.
The walking in between raindrops.
Walking in between it. There it is, bro. Appreciate you. And it was like that analogy was like it. For most people, you're like, what the fuck are you talking about? But for the people that like tune in and be like, what did he say? Why did he say that?
So that quote, because I had heard that before.
Life's about walking in between the raindrops.
When you told me it originally, I was like,
I stole it from Dave Campbell.
But I heard it. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Hey,
appreciate y'all. So that quote specifically, I've heard that before, and when you told me that, I was like, because I thought it was something with your dad originally.
Yeah, that was he gave me a lot of gems. It wasn't that one though.
But when you said that, I thought it was an
Campbell.
old. Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
I've heard that too. I didn't know where it came from. When you're like, oh, I've heard that, but I didn't know what, because I mean, I didn't really understand it when I heard it. I thought it was just kind of like about avoiding the problems. You kind of like, but like I didn't know what.
I mean, it is right. It's all about like the it's raining, right? Like
life is always raining.
Yeah, but you got to learn how to walk in between the raindrops.
Rain on your parade.
There's always potential.
We made a shirt about the whole thing.
Right? Yeah, rain on your parade. The thing, I think, my biggest thing with that mentality is that just tells you that like life is literally about pivoting.
100%,
it's literally about pivoting.
It is,
even
bro.
like in parenthood, like
Stay fluid.
you literally, because I go like even something small, like I know I have to do some grocery shopping soon, but I know if I go to the grocery store, I know that like I have a list to take, but I know if I take my daughter, I'm gonna be so much more productive because at home I'm gonna have her knowing what she wants rather than me buy stuff that I know she wants things. I know certain things, but when we're there, she wants certain stuff. Like my home experience is better when she's happier because she's like, it just is all about the.
I don't have any kids yet, but I can imagine what that's like.
It's so interesting because you might buy something, right? So I co-parent with her mother, and we split the week half and half. So when she comes back to me through our period of time, I take her to school, everything like that. But she comes back having new interests, new things that she's been exposed to, and even if it's only 3 to 4 days time, but a lot changes every single week, and I'm learning on the fly. I'm pivoting.
And they're kids; they're going to be changing nonstop.
They are, because they're always taking stuff in. I mean, you talk to her sometimes, like she'll say little things like, "Oh, you're just like, I mean, like it's a knock off the old block, Dad." And I'm like, where do you hear this?
Where'd you get
But she's hearing this from elders they're saying things in old speak, and she's just regurgitating. Because we talked about that earlier.
Kids, man.
It's fascinating.
I love
I'm
it.
watching it
It's
in real
awesome.
time. She's 5, and she's acting like she's 15. And
Honestly, that's one of the things I can't wait to eventually have kids. Provided I've always thought that was just going to be some cool, cool older uncle. I didn't think I was ever getting married. I didn't meet Oya until I'm what, 45 now? 46, about to be 46. I'm 40. Thank you. I don't even know how old I am.
Yeah, it happens, bro. It happens.
We've been together now for about 3.5, almost 4 years, and almost 4 years going on. So, I didn't know what it was going to be like to ever even want kids. I knew I'd be a cool dad, but I always thought I would just be a cooler uncle. But now I'm like, man, I can't wait to have those little issues that I need to deal with about making sure that my daughter gets what she wants or my son gets what they want, because it's gonna make my house that much happier. That's really cool. So I guess that's kind of why when little guys like this guy Chasen and his buddy come up here and saying things like trick-letter kids, kids are awesome.
Yeah.
I was a kid once. We were all kids once, and I blame a lot of the problems right now that we're having with all these babies running around is the parents. And the better parents we can be, the better those kids are going to be. And our future, it literally lies into those kids.
100%,
and the better we raise
bro.
them, cool. And if we could put a watch on all their wrists and get them respecting watches now, they can all be my customers.
Right. Yeah.
I was cracking a joke there, guys.
I mean,
wasn't being serious
but
about
that's
that.
but that's
Y'all were like, yeah, no, for real.
I mean, but
like
that's
that. You
but that's
posted, right?
but that's how it is, though, bro.
I'm respecting time.
But that's how it is. This store was built for misfits, bro. This store is not built for Louis Vuitton fucking clientele.
That's kind of like Panda brand. Like Panda, he's classy. He knows how to fit into the right rooms at galas and everything like this. But he's going to be out there on the streets pounding pavement just as hard as he was pounding the dance floor at some gala doing the ballroom dance with some queen.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
100%, bro.
I want them. He can walk into a room with class, but he can out there and run the streets with the best of them. You know what I mean?
Right.
That's and I want people to be able to express themselves, but also be able to do it with taste and class and not being ridiculed for whatever they're wearing.
Right, that's how we are, bro. When the kids come in, the whole right section there where the 2 TVs are, that used to be a whole a couch, just the couch that you're sitting on. We had a second one that was over there, and the kids would just come in, especially when the levy kicks everybody out at 6 if you're under 18. They would all come in here and just sit down and just be here as long as they could.
They kick them out at 6 at night if you're under 18.
6, I think 6 p.m. under 16, under 18.
Yeah, they have the 6 p.m., the 8 p.m., and the 10 p.m.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Curfew,
and that's even worse over in Kenwood.
Yeah.
They're our my daughter's 16 and she wasn't even allowed to be at Kenwood on Saturday by herself. Yeah, we had, I think it was a Saturday. Yeah, 100% it was a Saturday.
I didn't even know that was a thing.
Yeah, you got to be accompanied by an adult over there now. But again, we were talking about Kenwood earlier. They've got standards, and as shitty as it is, that
Understood.
There's a reason why 70% of malls have failed and 30% of malls are still doing well, and maybe it's because of the fact that they don't let native into their establishment. You know what I mean? Maybe it's because they kick the kids out at 4:00. Who knows? But
there's definitely a correlation.
There's
somewhere
definitely
in
a
there.
correlation. But at the same time, back in the 90s and 2000s, the mall was where we found our girlfriends. That's where we found our boyfriends. That's where we found our clothes.
Yep. First crush.
That's where we met our friends.
Yeah.
Was the mall.
Uh-huh.
You know what I mean? And so it's disheartening.
That's what they call mall rats. Remember
mall rats, bro?
I was a big mall rat, bro.
I was a mall rat.
I was
Fully small.
everybody
That's what we
was a
talked
mall
about.
rat.
Yeah.
I mean, there was nothing wrong with being a mall rat. It's dude, it's one of those things where you've got here. We should have given you.
Oh, give him a mic too. Yeah, he's the programmer. He gets a mic.
I don't know why we didn't fucking.
You should have had him like
fucking 4 hours ago.
2
My bad,
hours.
my bad, buddy.
Hey,
my
buddy,
bad.
there
2
we
hours
go.
and 15
What
minutes
up?
ago.
2 hours and 15 minutes. Welcome to the
Hey,
conversation,
man,
brother.
I'm on production today.
There you
That's
go.
okay.
He's the programmer, guys. He's the programmer. He's doing some of those comment moderating.
little behind the scenes action.
By the way,
John G in the building.
I want to go ahead. Everybody that's out there in the comments and like everybody who's watching this live and hanging out with us today, I appreciate you. Like I'm just some local Cincinnati guy out here making watches and just trying to, get to know you guys. So if you guys want to hit me up, may I?
Yeah.
Go ahead and hit
Yeah,
me up on
please do.
Time Panda Watches. Time Panda Watches on Instagram, Time Panda 24 on YouTube, or timepandawatches.com. So yeah, hit us up, or you can find me Phillip Hurst, Phillip Hurst Media. You can find my wife Olga Films with a Z, Olga Films, and we do awesome stuff, and we like to just get
Do you
to know
guys
people.
do video content for other companies?
Yeah, So I do. I like to say I do content for myself. I hit record for myself. Like I wouldn't quite call what Olya and I do content for ourselves. We're really busy with our clients, so all of our really big efforts and all of our main energy goes into our client stuff. And unfortunately, some of our client stuff is not able even to be seen, just because of just the agreements that we have, or
For
some
sure.
of the material that is going out. What's that? A lot of video marketing, and some of it is like inter-office stuff that isn't meant to be seen out in public. But for instance, like we are able to do certain things, like we were able to post some of our footage from a shoot we did for one of our clients that was out doing Formula One. One of our clients does a lot of lighting. So they did a lot of they did all of the Las Vegas Formula One.
Crazy, bro.
We
That
were
was
only
that
able
was so
to
crazy
show
looking.
certain things. Like if they approved it, we were able to post it. If they didn't approve it, we couldn't put it out there.
For sure.
It's just the way it goes. So yeah, I love making content for ourselves, but we find it hard to go really deep into what we would want to do for ourselves, because we're really busy making sure our clients get the best of us. To be
Yeah.
honest with you.
I mean, that's the main focus, man, is to make sure that every customer is taken
It's fun.
care of.
We
and-
love it.
Speaking of the best of you,
Dad, you scared the
I'm
shit out
back.
of me.
I'm still here.
I'm looking at
Surprise,
these guys, and
motherfuckers.
I'm like, their lips are not moving. That is the coolest thing I've ever
I just
seen.
had to turn his mic down a little
The
bit.
ghost.
Jackson and John G have a different tone of
God.
voice.
No, speaking of the best, I'm over here doing some tech stuff, and I do our website stuff. I gotta say, this is one of the best websites that I've seen for e-commerce in a while.
Thank you.
I'm definitely a fan.
I appreciate it.
And
It needs some updating. There's put it this way. There's watches that I recently just built that aren't even on there yet right now, because like I'm building them so quick sometimes that like
In and out.
I'm building it as a one-off for somebody. So what you're seeing on there is just like some stuff that I was able to put up there. But when I put those up there, since I put those up there, my style and my language and how I'm designing the watch has even changed, and what I'm trying to portray as our image has even changed. So a lot of what you're seeing is up there is, it's kind of like homage style. It's similar to something
I
else.
definitely see that.
But now when you look at what's on my Instagram, you're seeing a little bit more deviation from the homage and going into a little bit more of my own design language and kind of what we're
Less
going towards.
inspired by and more like, this is my work, and
Yeah.
you may peep some influences from,
Correct.
but no, this is noticeably,
That's what I'm trying to go
notably
towards.
your work. Absolutely. No, I really appreciate
Thank
what you
you.
had to say earlier about not necessarily wanting to make copycats. It's almost like, you were reading my mind over here, because it was something that I was thinking about when you had mentioned, these distributors overseas, and, how easy it is for anyone really to, if you do the right research, connect with the distributor and have a product made for you if you've got the cheese to get more than one made.
Well, not only if you have
but-
enough cheese to get one made, but if you have enough mouthpiece to talk them into allowing to work with you.
Right.
Like, hey, I've got these people coming through. I can make this. I'm not just coming in to get this one watch for myself.
Right,
I want to
like-
build a relationship with you, and this will turn into a big MOQ.
Exactly.
But let me work my way into that.
Exactly. Establishing that relationship
Build the
is
relationship.
important. 100%. Something that I think really sticks out the more, and you're right, it is really noticeable on your Instagram. The more you take that route, the more that you're going to have those one of ones, those one of five, those unique pieces.
And that's really what I want to do.
You know, a style that really is your own, that people are seeking, and eventually people will be mimicking and trying to profit off of.
So what do they say? Imitation is the highest level of flattery.
Ain't that the hey,
you know what I mean?
That's it.
So like, if
right
y'all
there.
ever want to knock off any of my watches, when we get right now,
Hey, Jackson's still in the chat.
I know he is.
right now we don't have anything originally. Like I drew pen to paper. We got produced. We are working on this. I do have pen to paper. I got some really cool sketches going on. I'm working with a factory right now. We're working on modifying a couple of movements to fit what I'm trying to have put into a watch. So look out, world 2027 Watches and Wonders. Here I come.
There it is.
Yeah, just putting that out
Speaking
there.
into fruition, bro.
Putting it into fruition, guys.
Hey,
I don't know.
We manifest. We start by speaking into the universe, but we manifest with actions around here, right? You know
I
what
love
I'm
it,
saying?
guys.
We put the work in.
Absolutely love it. But I'm gonna tell you what, guys. I'm pooped. I don't know about y'all.
Hey,
I've been up
10
since 4 o'clock in the morning.
10 o'clock's a good time to cut out.
That was not, you know.
10 o'clock, boys and girls. Wow, we just talked about watches and everything else in this world.
For 2
That
hours
was
and 20
not child's
minutes.
play, right? That was 2 hours
I
and
loved it.
21 minutes. We're actually 60 seconds away from 222.
That's
Ain't that
wild.
something? Hey, with this
go.
last few seconds, do you want to say anything real quick? Just a one-liner or a two-liner to get the people going or keep them going.
Guys, I love y'all, and I hope you love me because I want to keep on spreading that love throughout the world. So let's do it together.
That's it. That's
That's
what
it.
it's
That's all I
about.
got.
That's it.
That's all I got.
And if somebody wants a custom watch, man,
Jay
where,
Banks, Andrew,
where do
you
they
want to
go?
give them a sign-off before 222?
I just want to hear where people can get the watches from, and then we can close it
Find us. Oh, I'll tell you what, man. Let's do custom. Yeah, you can buy stuff that's already built and have what everybody else wants, but let's go ahead and do custom. Hit me up at Time Panda or Time Panda Watches on Instagram or TimePandaWatches.com on the web. Appreciate
Hey.
y'all.
All right, man. So this is going to wrap up another episode of the PowWow. I do want to speak this into fruition since we were talking about this. Let's go, bro. So
Brave Blink.
We were talking about V
Look at
Friends
that.
earlier.
Yeah. Look at that. That's
Say
so good,
say
bro.
it with me, P. Brave Blink.
Brave
So,
Blink.
There it
Brave
is.
We're speaking this into fruition. If you guys know anything about me, you know that I'm an artist. You know that I've been doing this shit for a long time. And V Friends is coming out with Topps Chrome cards May 7th. It's the Series 3 that they're doing. So I'm trying to tap into Series 4. They pulled 9 sketch artists out of the community that are part of the V Friends like atmosphere, and they let them design cards to be put into the Topps Chrome Series 3.
Bro.
And
Beautiful.
I hope you can pull
and
this
bro,
off,
I
man.
am so tapped in, and I am so hungry and so ready to make Blink a household character.
Let's go.
It's coming.
Hey, and I want you to know, Jay, you held those cards right up to the camera at 2 hours, 22 minutes, and 22 seconds.
Let's go.
That was the exact second you held those up to the camera.
We're planting the seed, man.
Planting the
We're
seed.
planting the
It's
seed
growing.
here.
The universe
May
knows we're
10th,
here.
we're going down. We're going to see Gary V in Grove City, Ohio. It's going to be it's going to be chapter 1 on
Chapter 1. Hold them up.
It's going to be chapter 1 on the chapter 7 that we're working on right now.
Hold it to.
So these cards right here, we're
That's
gonna
really cool, bro.
we're gonna give one of the cards to Gary V, and then we're gonna give any of the other cards away to anybody that wants to believe in the vision that we're doing. I'm gonna read the back of this real quick. You don't know what Gary V's V Friends are yet, but it's a community
I know
based
of
on
'em.
Patient
I don't
Panda,
follow 'em, yeah.
things like that. So this character is based on myself, like the losing the ear, losing the eye, and on the,
The
back
story
of
of the mad scientist.
on the back of the card, it says planting the seed. Brave Blink is a character based on the true story of the mad scientist losing his ear and his left eye in a robbery. As the owner of the native brand, the mad scientist created this character to push positivity on our darkest times. Right?
There it is.
I've lost an ear, I've lost an eye, but I never lost my focus. That is the motto of Brave Blink, and we are here to infiltrate V Friends, bro. Let's go.
Bro,
V friends
I-
equals V family. That's what
I love
V
that
fam.
story.
Okay.
I love that story, man. That's
It's
really cool.
It's a true story. You know
I
what?
know the story. I know the story. I just didn't know.
At the end of the day, it's brass tacks, bro. It's like I got assaulted. I got my ear bit off. I got my left eye detached. I went through 5 eye surgeries to try to save the eye. Couldn't save it. I became very depressed. I put blackout curtains on my windows. I went from working at Scott's Lawn Service, where I was outside in the sunlight every day, to not being able to walk my dog at 10 a.m. because of the sun. You know what I mean? So I got in this like depressive state where I wanted to kill myself, because it was like nobody was, like I said earlier, no one was listening here.
I didn't know that.
It's bro.
No, but still, go ahead.
Yeah, I appreciate it, man. But you know, when people were asking me what's wrong, they were just looking at my ear and my eye and just going, "What the fuck?" But they weren't listening to my heart when I was telling them. You know what I mean? So I really felt like I was getting lost in the sauce. And it got to the point where, like, I told my buddy in New York, like, you know, this shit fucking sucks, bro. And he told me, he was like, look, man, you can't get mad. You got to get better. Mm-hmm. He's like, this whole woe me thing, nobody gives a fuck. And he's like, it's not going to do anything. He's like, you can't get mad. You got to get better. And when he said that, and instead of me being an ungrateful, like, you know, woe me, like, oh, you don't know what I'm going through. It was like, you know what?
Forget that victim mentality,
you're
man.
You're fucking right, dude. Like, no one gives a fuck. Like, I can either sit here and soak in it for the next 4 years and then pull myself out, or while I'm sitting here with the blackout curtains on the windows, not being able to go to Scott's Lawn Service, you know, not having the clothing brand, not having a store, I might as well get fucking better. You know what I mean? So I was in the house, so I taught myself how to design clothes, how to print the clothes, how to do all the marketing, how to do everything. I was stuck in there anyways, bro. So I was either fucking die or get stronger. Bro. You know what I mean?
Bro.
And we're here today,
I had no
bro.
idea about that. So, like, first off, hats off to you. If I had a hat on, I'd take it off right now.
Oh, you'll have a hat by the end of the night. Let's go.
But, like, so that kind of spirit and that kind of fuck it, get it done.
Fuck it, bro. Fuck it.
You gotta keep moving forward. What are you gonna do? Sit stagnant and fucking cry about it? Pardon my French. Now I'm starting to get worked up because I get really heated about this. I don't do excuses. Fuck excuses, man.
Yeah.
My wife, me, we've been through shit. We both have every reason to be like, oh, my life. Or, oh, woe is me. Or, you have no idea the shit that I've been through. You have no idea the shit that my wife been through.
You're going to find a reason that you will, or you're going to find a reason that you won't. Which is it? 100%.
You can either sit here and die and be sulking in your own tears and misery, or you can get up and do the same thing in the sweat that it took to get you to where you want to be. Because you're going to die anyways. You could die in your tears, or you could die in your sweat. Working your ass off.
100%, bro. And the crazy thing is, it takes years of blood, sweat, and tears to become an overnight success, right?
My man, overnight. There's no such thing as an
there's
overnight success.
It takes 20 years to hit that overnight.
Yeah. Like everyone's like,
and ain't nobody self-made. Everybody had a little help from somebody.
Everybody had years of experience to get to that point, bro. Yep. Years of losses, years of L's, a year of heartache, a year of I want to give it up.
Not a year.
I
years.
can't do it. Years.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden they go, oh, this guy knows what he's doing.
No, it took a lot. Like, I've messed up many a watches before I built my first good one.
I'm that same clown, bro, that you punch, just keeps coming back for more, bro, with that little that little sandbag. Like, bro, like I'm telling, like I've always like put my life in that aspect. It's like, you can punch me as much as you want, bro, but I got sand on my feet.
It's not. I hate to sound cliche.
Right,
it's not how many times you get knocked down. It's how many times you get back up.
Let's go, bro.
But I had to say it.
That's a perfect way to end the podcast, man. All right, everybody, it's your boy Jay Banks. If you guys want to get a custom watch, if you want to speak with Phillip, or if you want to understand more about watches, just go to Time Panda Watches. Phillip Hurst on Instagram. We can make it happen.
Guys, it was a blast.
Yeah, man.
It was
a
blast,
time.
bro. This
Thank
is,
you for being
and
here.
we're going to do this in 6 months. and then we're gonna see where the
Oh,
catalyst
let's go!
is
I'm all
there,
about,
because-
dude. In 6 months, if I don't have my own factory with a camera at every desk and people can log in and see what process their watch is at, I did something wrong.
Dude, I can't wait to see that.
All right, man.
That is a fucking goal.
That's all right. I just spoke that one in fruition.
Yeah,
Here we
you
go.
did. What's today? Today's April 22nd. So October 22nd, we'll see you.
You know what's funny about that date?
Got him.
That October 22nd is approximately the time when I decided to pick this up, because that's when we went to that's when we decided
That's how
to
we do
this.
it. Full circle moments.
Wow.
Let's go, bro.
Didn't even think about that.
All
All right,
right.
guys. God bless.
Until next time.
Hey,
Thanks for being on the
divine
PowWow, Phillip. We
intervention.
appreciate you.
Appreciate you. Yeah.
Cheers,
Yes,
you guys.
Thanks
sir.
for being on Native.
All right, everybody. I love you
Podcast.
guys. If you want to be a part of it,
Hey.
tune in, tap into one of us. One Heart Medical,
go.
Duffified, and we'll give River Green Cocktails a big shout out.
Yeah, shout out to
Super
River
dope.
Green Cocktails. They held it down for a little while, and we're excited to see what else they come out with. But yeah,
V Friends,
V
big
Friends.
shout out to V Friends, unofficial sponsorship, whatnot. Tap in.
Y'all need to hit him up. Y'all need to get on that Gary
Let's
V
go.
Friends
It's,
train.
Yeah,
it's
man.
over
We'll see
with,
you next
bro.
time, guys.
It's
yeah,
over
man.
with.
Get him.
I'll tell you what.
tapped in
6 months from now, y'all better be there. We'll have a success story. We'll have a recap.
6 months, I'll have a real version
Watch
of this.
this.
Let's go. That's
do you mean? That is a real
that's your
version.
goal. That's my goal. This is the unofficial.
We
I
out
know,
here.
but it's real enough. to
time.
my
We
eyes.
out here.
Hey, this is the bootleg version. I'm
Love it.
okay with that because I like bootleg versions.
That's series 1.
Right.
That's
This is
mock. That's mock edition.
right. Yeah.
What do they call that when it's in sketch though?
Proof maybe.
Mock up.
Proof mock up.
Mock edition.
Or proof. Yeah, proof is also. Yep.
Yeah. All right, everybody. We'll see you
All
next
right.
week. Love you guys, and new hats in stock. Let's
New
go.
hats
Penna,
and stuff.
penna,
Well,
penna,
Shout out,
penna.
shout
Yeah,
out
he
to the
said-
Native Brand for sponsoring the podcast.
Yeah,
we always
right.
forget to shout out Native Brand.
Shout out to Native Brand for
They
sponsoring
spend
the
a lot of
project.
money to
Yeah.
make this podcast happen.
Right.
They do a lot of things to make this podcast happen.
brought to you by Native Brand.
Yeah. Shout out to Native. Appreciate you guys.
Shout
Love
out.
you. See you next week. Let's go.